Hey, 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 here we go. It is Saturday, and you know what this is. It is T.W.I.L.L and Will.I.E, and we're doing the experience exchange. Let me fix this a little bit so you can see. Dang, you look so good in blue. So I had to match them.
Why you always try to hit on me whenever we going live? You don't hit on me when I'm walking around this house in my white beaters.
I do.
We see.
Okay. So today's topic is a doozy. He picked it because a lot of times that we come up with these topics, we just kind of go with what's happening in the world, trends, things of that nature. And his topic is this ain't what I signed up for when the relationship changes. And being with someone for 20 years, a lot of things can happen. A lot of people don't know me and Willie's story. Once again, that's probably for another podcast. But a lot of what we talk about comes from our own experiences. And I feel like it is important for every single person who watches these. If you are seeking knowledge, you have to be able to receive it and you have to know that it's coming from a genuine place. Because at the end of the day, I don't like airing my business. I'm a very private person. I know a lot of people don't believe that. But transparency equals change. So that's why we're here. So I want to talk about the first thing when it comes to this. And for me, I think it's the reason that has kept me wanting to be here, Willie. Do you know what that is?
What's that?
Our relationship has changed so much. It's placed in my own identity a strong passion for patience. Y'all, he looking at me like he don't believe me. But that's the truth, is that I have never in my life been more patient than I have been with him or this entire situation. You guys know
I
that.
beg to differ. I think you had more patience than I think you had more patience when nah, I can't really say it
In the
like that.
beginning?
No, not in the beginning. I mean, your patience has evolved. I can recognize
Right.
that. I can say that. But what I'm saying is that I never looked at you with not having patience. Like if I would have to, I would have to call you the superhero of patience. Like
Superhero.
yeah, like you like the superhero of patience. If that was a thing to say, like
No.
you have a lot of patience. Like you deal with a lot. Like we both deal with a lot. But when it comes to like the emotional side or the connection side or the side of marriage or whatsoever, we both we both deal with a lot. But you have a lot of patience. I'll give you that one.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. But that's what I want to say. But the foundation of what I want to say about this topic, which I feel like will jump everything off, is we expect that when we get with someone, we are going to see the same actions in every scenario, and we get upset when we don't like the results. So, for example, when me and Willie met, we were both previously married, um, going through divorces. So it kind of made things crazy and difficult and a little bit chaotic. But I didn't expect him to come into our relationship treating me the same way he treated his ex. And in the beginning, because things were so good, in the beginning, you play scenarios of getting to know someone. But somewhere in the middle of that, we stop getting to know each other. And we just start receiving whatever that other person is giving us. And we use that as the basis of what's going to sustain us in a relationship. And
Yeah,
that's not true.
and also like talking about this, like the reason why I want to talk about this because I feel like a lot of people get into relationships and they have an idea of what they want. They
Right.
haven't like even looking at TikTok and YouTube, and as we put more stuff out, we meet a lot of people, and a lot of people tune in and chime in, and they start talking about what they would do and what they wouldn't do, or what they expect or what they're looking for. And that's not always the case because life brings you on a journey, and it brings you to places where you never thought that you would go to. Things that you say that I would never do, you find yourself doing. Like, it's really crazy. Like, I didn't sign up for, because, you know, we was gonna originally talk about sex, but I wanted to input that in there like that, because, like, does sex matters in a marriage? To me, sex did matter in a marriage. Like, sex was the number one thing in my life when it came to being married. Sex, that's what it is. I'm a sexual being. That's who I am.
Wow.
And
I can't believe you're saying
I
that.
had, well, this is what you wanted to talk about. And
It's different when you're saying it out
well,
loud.
well, if you go to, I'm just being real. This is what people want from us.
Yes,
They want us to be
I'm
real.
joking. Go
Sex
ahead.
was more important to me than anything. So I was a sexual being. You wasn't a sexual being.
wasn't.
You was more of a mental, to challenge, to stimulate your mental, get you going. It's like
Correct.
it's like I had to.
I'm still that way though.
Yeah, you still that way. It gets real busy
I guess you didn't
sometimes.
sign up for that, right?
No, I didn't really sign up for that, but I'm already here. Like, I don't want to leave, but I'm just saying, so I have to come up to par. I'm a winner, so I have to fight to be
You're
the
a
best.
winner.
That's right. I have to fight to be the best that I can be in a lot of things. Some things I fail at, but I don't want to fail at my marriage. I've already failed at one. I don't want to fail at this one. So with the expectation of what I expected and going through life, I realized that my expectations don't mean squat.
Wow. So the first lesson in this is that your expectations don't mean anything when you're walking into a relationship.
It doesn't.
Because you don't know this person and this person doesn't know you. So when you're starting on a journey, it's important to ask a lot of
Now,
questions.
when you say know this person, like, what are you saying? Like, they have to know each other. They dating each other.
No, that's not true. Okay, what is it? Bumble and TikTok and eHarmony. You only know what people are telling you. That doesn't necessarily mean you know a person. The only way you could truly know a person is to actually be with them every single day, because you're only with them when you're dating, what, a couple hours? So in my mind, I'm thinking right now, I see why back then a lot of people got married immediately, because you won't truly know somebody unless you're with them day in and day out. And just because they handle a certain situation with you in the 3 or 4 hours that you meet them, that shouldn't be a basis of what you put your whole relationship on.
Yeah,
Right?
that's true.
So when I met you, I saw that you were hardworking. I saw that you were
She wanted me for my money.
fine.
She wanted me for my paper. She wanted me for my paper.
I saw the way you were with your children.
She was.
I saw how
she
people
wanted me.
respected
First of all, when you see me, you didn't see me with my children.
I didn't, but
We
I
was just
saw
friends. I was going through a trying time.
were
I was
both going through a
I was
trying
I just got somebody pregnant. I was coming out of a marriage that I was
too,
no
coming
I
out
was
of marriage.
I was no good in my first marriage. I'm just be honest with you. I apologies to my ex-wife. She already knows I apologized to her already. But I was no good. I wasn't the person that I am now, and I'm ashamed of it even to this very day. But at the same time, we were just friends, and I told her we were just going through this, and I didn't feel like no more of that trauma. I've never had like a break in between relationships or
That's
anything
me
of the sort.
too. Isn't that crazy? Like, and that's another thing, is that because I didn't know who I was when I met you, I learned in the relationship, and you had to suffer for it.
Yep, we both had to suffer for it.
Right,
That's the point.
because even
And
though
that's
he
what
was,
we're trying to get to, is that we both had to suffer
Right.
when we didn't have to suffer. Because if we would not have those phantom or false expectations, then we would know already what to expect. But who do we have as role models?
No, we didn't. Our identity was linked into other things besides good stuff that would last us.
Music.
Yeah.
Actors relationship. At that time,
Yeah.
Beyonce and Jay-Z was together, so we was trying to be like Beyonce and Jay-Z.
And only knows what happened with that, with closed doors.
The spirit of that really got into me.
It did, because we really was thinking we was out here being Beyonce and Jay-Z.
And we were thinking that we was out there when people was out there doing their things, you hanging with the wrong crowds. You ain't got friends that don't care about your marriage or your spouse. Nobody says, Willie, that ain't cool. Willie, you shouldn't do that. Willie, you should not, that's why you got to watch the crowd that you hang around. But anyway, neither here nor there. But yeah, you're right.
So another thing too is that as we begin to grow in our relationship, one of the things that the first thing I said was I didn't sign up for somebody trying to treat me like a child. But here's the thing.
But she ain't never told me that though.
Right.
Nobody
right.
wanted to treat you like a
But
child
here's
though,
the
Carter.
thing. But
But sometimes you did things that was like a
Right.
child.
Exactly. Can I say it? I was getting it out.
Oh.
The truth is that a part of him kind of sort of had to parent me because once again I didn't have great parents as role models, and as I came into this, I didn't know who I was as a woman.
Man, I wasn't expecting
So-
parent. I wasn't. This was like in my mind frame, like
What was in your mind frame? Oh Lord, what is
when we
it?
first met. I was trying to avoid you, but at the same time, I couldn't avoid you. I was already coming out of a relationship or something like that. I didn't do right by that.
Right.
I still didn't do right by it, even when we met, because it happened real fast.
Right.
I seen how fine you was, how good you looking, them long legs and all that other stuff, man. My mind was into sex. I was like, dang, man, licking my lips and everything, dog. Like, for real.
Wow. You was ready to just.
I was just, man, I was like, dang, girl, this girl fine. I don't like no pretty girls, man. I like.
What?
Yeah, you know, I was going into ugly. I was by this time, man, ugly. I didn't really care, man. Pretty face, man. Pretty women, man. They're hard to keep up, hard to deal with. You gotta keep them motivated. Guys always after them, man. Like for real, man. Nobody wants all that, man. For real. Guys know what I'm talking. You know what I'm talking about, man. You get a pretty girl, man. Come on. You have to beat dudes off of them. I'm about to say another word, but you have to beat them off. And then you have to always keep your eyes open. Some dude always think that they better than you or they can do it better than you or they have more than you and try to get your girl. Because why? She's fine. She looks good. She got she got everything that men are looking for. Come on.
Okay. So even in that, right, as you was talking about that, is that we were both in, coming out of relationships. But when you met me, I didn't know who I was at all.
I didn't know that. I thought you knew who you was. You convinced me that you
Exactly.
knew. You convinced
And
me.
that's it.
I thought you was an old soul in a young body.
First of all, I am an old soul in a young body. So that
In
part.
theory, yes, but in actuality, actual life, living life. What they call it? Like
Because I'm not a homebody.
no, in living life. Like real like when you drive a car and it's real mileage, like real theory, like when you do real life, whatever.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? Like you was in theory, yes, but in actuality, you have never practiced it. That's my point.
Okay. So he says and I guess our old soul vision has two different, like you think one thing and I think another.
Yes.
Anyway, so when I met him, I literally was trying to like do whatever I could to make it seem like I was just this strong, independent, put together woman. And the truth is I wasn't that at all. But here's the thing. This is another thing that's going to shock a lot of people. When we started going through all of our issues, that is what made me a woman. That is what made me the woman you guys see in front of you today. The problems, all the drama, all the chaos. Because at the end of the day, a real woman, like that's out here in these streets saying they're a woman, is that you got to put up with a lot of things.
Not even that. They don't have to put up with a lot of things if they make the right choices.
When you don't have an identity in yourself.
That is
Let me
correct.
say that.
And when you don't make the right choices because you have no guidance to make the right choices. Some people probably on here have mom and dads or uncles and aunts that have nice relationships, man. But when I think about that, man,
Let's not even talk about
none of my
family
uncles and aunts. I only have one uncle that was married, and his wife wasn't that great, and like for real, like me and my brothers, then we just got married and got married to great women. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we had to grow into that even till this very day. Like, we didn't have that to look at as a role model. Like, nobody understands that. Well, you had some figure. What figure did I have, man? Stars were getting divorced. They were sleeping with each other. They jump off one relationship. Your friends was going to one relationship, man. And then I listened to a lot of hip hop rap, so I was hard. So therefore, my mind, that was my lifestyle. My lifestyle was street. That's just how I was raised.
What's crazy is that I said I wanted to talk about this because someone did ask, saying that you should have had role models. Let me tell you something. In my life,
someone asked or told you.
Someone asked me, like, why would you guys make those choices if you had people in your life that had relation, like showed you.
That's the point.
We didn't. But
We
here's
didn't.
the thing.
I didn't.
I only had one, and that's my mom's, my stepmama Carla, and my dad Donde. They were married for 20 plus years. They're not together now. But when I saw them, they probably don't even know this. But when I saw them, I said I wanted a marriage like that because they always told me divorce is never an option.
Yeah.
Right? And so when I saw that as a young girl, I saw that, hey, divorce is not an option. So when I was in my first marriage, I really didn't want a divorce. Like I was doing whatever I could to try not to do that. But once again, my identity was not in a place where I could accept that, you know what, even though that may be what I wanted, was I in a place to receive it. I wasn't.
Not even that.
I was 18 years old. I wasn't in a place
yeah,
to be.
but when you watching it still, unless they guiding you or sitting down and talking with you.
They did guide me. They did sit down and talk with me. I must give them that, you know. So it's very hard for me to understand it now that
by this time I was in the church and I was learning about the Bible and learning how to treat a woman. I became better. And then when I realized I came to the knowledge of the truth when I learned about the Creator God, because I was an atheist before. And in understanding that, I didn't understand the love of God. But when I finally understood the love of God, I married my first wife for the wrong reason. She loved me more than I loved her. And it was hard for me to really face that fact and that truth. And even to this very day, it's even hard to even say also that, you know, she was a great woman. She never did anything to me. She never did any wrong to me. She never did. So, but I was the one did the wrong things. I made the wrong choices. And then I had to make a decision. When I came to the knowledge of biblical truths, I had to make a decision and say, do I stay? Now, mind you, even though I had the mind to stay and do the right thing, I still didn't have the know-how. I knew what to do, but not how to do it. I didn't know where to get that strength from. I knew that in that moment, I said, I want to be strong. I want to be righteous. I want to be right. But then when that moment came, I wasn't. Still made the wrong choices. And it happened again and again and again. Even bled over into this marriage to where I finally understood and said, you know what, enough. I got to understand, like, I can't keep repeating this.
Right. And so as I grew and learned in you, I really just, in our relationship, I started saying to myself, okay, if I have no guidance in who I need to be, then I need to find a source that is going to show me who I want to be, or what I want to be, not just as your wife, but as a mother, as a friend, as a sister. And for me, that was biblical. But here's the thing. I know now, after being with you for 20 years, that ride is who made me who I am. The good, the bad, the hurt. So when we're sitting here saying I didn't sign up for this, the first thing you have to ask yourself is, are you ready to sign up for the unexpected, for things that you can't control?
Yep.
Because the truth is that no matter how much this man loves me, I can't control him.
Because when I brought that first check to that chick, and that chick messed the money up after that check, and messed the money up after that check, and messed the money up after that check, I was like, hold on, wait a minute, man. Is she bad with money?
Yeah. I was.
That was all, because a lot of time to me, that was really like most of my problems. No one understands that my problem is that I lived in the gutter for so long, I didn't want to go back to no gutter, man.
Right.
The way we were going back to the gutter. And she was bringing me to the gutter. Yep. So that was a relationship breaker to me at that point, because I had to decide, you know, then by this time we got kids, right? And, you know, the family's all together, the kids coming over for, you know, the holidays and the summers, right. And some of them come to live with us. And, you know, and I'm like, man, gosh, I can't do this. Then the more we argue and fuss, the less we was having, you know, consummating our marriage. I'm going to say it like that. And that was even aggravating to me. And I'm like, this is definitely a relationship breaker, because you have to think, like, even though all of this was happening, it was happening for a reason. You have to come to yourself and say, man, you know, am I going to leave? I'm going to get this. And I'm going to tell you straight up, to this point, you guys already know I made a decision to say, hey, you know what?
Definitely
If she
went out
not
of
going,
dodge.
if she ain't going to give it to me, I'm going to get it from somewhere else. That's straight up. That's what I did.
Now, was that the best choice?
No,
We
it was
know
not the
now
best
that,
choice.
of course.
Because it caused a chaos, a series of things, man.
Right.
Like,
One thing
for
on top of
real.
another, one thing on top. But if he would have never left, I would have never got saved, and I'd have never gave my life to God. Like, it would have never happened. Like, straight up. Because you have to know at the end of the day, like, if I'm here, like, in every problem or every situation, there is a part of you that plays a part because you're in it. And as a woman, I couldn't fathom, gosh, well, like, why would he do this to me? Why would he go seek another woman? And a lot of women ain't gonna agree with this. And I'm gonna tell you something. I really don't care.
I don't care
because
neither.
the truth is that if I was handling my business, he would have never left. He would have never did what he did, how he did it. I'm not saying he wouldn't have still did it. How he did it.
Well, I wouldn't have still did it.
No, I'm just saying it could be.
It drove me.
It drove.
It drove me into anger, and anger rests in the bosom of a fool. So I made bad choices when I was angry because my mind was always, all right, I show her. She talked because her favorite line. This was her favorite line, and it was always an attack. Ain't nobody gonna accept you with 10 kids.
First of all, that's not what I said.
What you
I didn't say ain't nobody gonna accept you with 10 kids.
Nobody's not gonna deal
ain't
with
nobody gonna deal with all the stuff.
the
that
baby
comes with
mama
10
drama and with
Yes,
10
ain't
kids.
nobody gonna, and
I was,
there is probably women that would deal with that.
and I proved
But
there
I
was.
20. What? Jaden was born, so
You're jumping around too fast.
no, I'm not. I'm
Yeah,
just
you
trying
are.
to say I was.
You was
still
in your
my
20s. You was in
early
your
20s.
30s, and that's about it. Yeah.
No, it was in my early 20s because Jaden was born. It was 2007.
You still
so.
say that to this very day. You said it about 3 years ago.
No. Okay, but I'm just saying, ain't nobody gonna deal. That's the truth. Is that I've invested
Well, anyway,
time. A lot of women ain't gonna deal with this.
point being
That's
is,
facts.
I wanted to prove her wrong. So when I got angry, I'm like, I'll fix her. I'm going to show her better than I can tell her. There's somebody out there. Like, for real. You guys think it's a trip. It's so many people in this world. Someone will do what you don't want them
That's
to do.
right. But
Just
guess
like
what?
when it was
won't
for
be
me.
me.
And when it was my turn.
And he learned that lesson.
And I learned that lesson. I'm talking about, man, I can't believe this, man. And
Way
then,
on the other side of the world.
and then this is when the creator God said, wait a minute, Willie. Look how many chicks you don't slept with. Are you better than her? Did I forgive you? Are you serious? So now I'm having these conflicted feelings because I'm like, man, like for real. So I'm looking at it in a different light. Like, you know, gosh, man, she did forgive me all those times. Like for real. Like, you know, like nobody gets that. Nobody understands that. She forgave me, right? But here I am, and she done what she done did because of what I didn't do. Because remember, there's always going to be someone out there, if you in your relationship, and you ain't going to do what, you not hearing them, you're not listening to them, and you thinking you all macho or you miss proud, and you not doing what you're supposed to do in your relationship, oh, somebody going to get that.
Somebody gonna do it.
Somebody gonna do it straight up.
Because the truth is that you're gonna go into that next relationship, like in my situation, is that I wanted emotional connection. And the truth is, it's easy for somebody to give you an emotional connetion when you're not getting it at home.
Yeah, I don't care how pretty you are.
It doesn't
I don't
matter.
care how handsome you are. I don't care how long your P thing is.
Why you gotta say that,
I'm just telling the
Like,
truth.
you ain't gotta
This
say
is
that.
reality, man.
Listen,
Women like big
they know
things.
what it- okay then.
I don't
I'm
care.
just saying.
Anyway, I don't care how
Stop.
fine you are.
But we get censored.
Whatever. I ain't saying the word, but you know what I'm saying, people out there. I don't care how much money you got, man. None of that matters if you're not catering to that person you love. Look at Drake and look at Rihanna and look at how she chose Chris over she chose Drake. Like, reality check.
Okay, that's first of all, we don't know nothing about their relationship.
We don't, but I'm
anything.
just saying, during that Pacific time, like, none of that matters. Status don't matter. So you have to realize that there's someone out there waiting for you to fail so they can get in.
That's true. Right. So listen to this. As I grew and changed, right? At some point I had to look in the mirror at myself. If I'm in the same place in my relationship over and over and over again, How many times am I going to keep coming back to that spot to where I realize that maybe the person that needs to change is me?
And that's the key part.
Like,
Because when you think about it, like that's really the key part. Did I sign up for this? Nah, you gotta evaluate yourself.
Right.
Did you sign up for this? What did you sign up for?
I signed up for.
What did you sign up for?
I'm going to tell you what I signed up for. I signed up for the most incredible person I've ever met in my life, but also the person who could probably hurt me more than anybody else in the world.
That wasn't what you was thinking, though.
Not in the beginning, no. But I'm telling you, sitting here 20 years later, is that every morning I wake up and we're still together and I still choose you. I know that I'm accepting all of the amazing things that you do to me, but all the unpredictability of what you could do to me too.
Yeah, but people don't think like that, though.
But that's what I'm saying. So you have to think about that, because if you don't, you setting yourself up for a loss. You hopping from relationship and relationship to relationship, thinking that, oh, I'm gonna go seek what I'm not getting, but you're gonna go miss out on the thing that you could have stayed with, worked, and changed. Because the truth is that me and you involved during the worst parts of our life. So if I'm gonna stay here and say I choose you every day, I'm choosing you happy, I'm choosing you sad, I'm choosing you angry, I'm choosing you confused, I'm choosing every part of you that I can't even predict. But where does that type of understanding and love come from? For me, it only came from knowing who I am in God. Like, you don't want me to talk about God all the time, but I'm sorry.
Don't be telling people I don't want you to talk.
Lord in my life.
It's not that I don't want you to talk about God. You have a lot of people that listens that doesn't believe in God.
Okay,
that,
well, this is
that don't know God in that way.
Take
so
the meat and spit out the bones.
they don't know
however you want to receive it.
How are they gonna eat the meat and spit out the bones when they don't even know what the bones are?
Listen, and once again, that's what we're talking about. Is that you have to figure out the bones in your own life to understand what you need to eat from the meat. Because not all part of the meat is good. They got the gristle, they got the bone, and those are the things in your life that you really have to examine and be like, okay, I'm ready to make this change, but what is the reality of my changing? Do I really want to change, or I'm just changing because I feel like I'm going to lose something or miss out on something from being the way I am?
I think most people get in relationships for selfish reasons.
Oh, wait, Willie, hold on. Somebody have a question. I got a question. You forgave your mate for infidelity, but it's always in the back of your mind. Is that a bad thing?
No, you can forget. You can forgive, but you'll never forget. Like, even to this very day,
Right.
a song like that song with Beyonce and Jay-Z. What was the name of that song?
On the Run. He
On the
hates
Run.
that
I
song.
can't stand that song because
I
that's the
can't even
song.
play it.
That's the song when she cheated, and every time I listen to that song, because I remember riding to Louisiana while I was in Dallas at work, and that's where she went to go on a little rendezvous and stuff, right? So every time that song come on, man, it
can't
just
play it.
aggravate me, man. Like, for real, that's the devil's in my son. Like, he really tempts me, but it got easier and easier and easier. A smell. It could be the way that they smile or look. It could be a color. It could be anything. Yes, you can forgive, but you don't forget. But it does fade away very faint. And then when you begin to understand what forgiveness is all about,
Right.
because who are you? You're not perfect. So what about your flaws and what you do and what's going on with you? Like, we all do that, and we all
Right.
in this self-judgment state to thinking that we're more than other people, but we're actually not. We all deserve death.
Forgiveness is not a weakness. It's a strength.
And that's why everybody can't do it.
No, and that's right. So guess what? Everybody can call me silly, stupid, crazy, whatever. Is that this person right here? I don't care how many times he did.
And a lot of dudes call me crazy because they like, dude, you
they
weak.
was trashing you on TikTok.
And
telling you
my mind frame is, man, a penis is a penis, dog. You can't control that. You the one that's insecure about your penis. I ain't insecure about mine. I understand what's going on with me. You don't
Listen.
understand what's going on with you because you're. I want to say so many words, but I can't.
please don't.
Like, for
Please
real,
don't
I'm
say
not
so many
insecure
words.
about who I am. I know what I did
Right.
and why she did it. You wasn't in my body. You didn't make decisions like I made because
Right.
I was a no good knucklehead, like, for
Right.
real. And if anybody knows me, especially people that's on here that know me, like Melvin J. Cole, he knows already what's up. You get what I'm saying? So now understand that forgiveness is really actually for you to see in the light that you forgiving others while the Creator God forgives you.
See, Willie, and that's another thing that I think that I love about you so much is because the forgiveness that I've had for you over the years has taught me to forgive myself. Because a lot of times
Us
is that,
both. That's just not for you. That's for me too.
Right. But it taught me to forgive myself because a lot of times that when we change, we forget that we have to give ourselves forgiveness too. Because if we don't, we're going to go back and still continually do those things because we never had a conversation within ourselves. And in my case, God, to be like, you know what? God, you forgiven me so I can forgive myself too. Like, at the end of the day, we all fall short in our lives. So if we walking around with unforgiveness for ourselves, it's going to create us to not have unforgiveness
And see, that's
in everybody else.
what I didn't sign up for.
Say that again. Unforgiveness in ourselves will allow us to not have forgiveness in other people.
True that.
Yeah.
Because that's where you didn't sign up for certain things, but because your relationship changes, you have to change. Now that thing that you thought that you was in the relationship for is not that way anymore.
That's right.
So either you're going to evolve or you're going to change.
Right. I love that me as 40-year-old Tanisha, 40-something, 42, however you want to say, I'm 42. But 42-year-old Tanisha knows that my life every single day has to evolve in changing the parts of me that I know that I need work on. I never cared about changing myself before I met you. I never analyzed what I did. Mm-hmm. I never analyzed who I was. I never analyzed the people that were in my life. I never analyzed the food that I ate. Your love has caused me to analyze myself the way that finally God can come into my life and truly make change within me. But the first thing is you got to recognize, I
disagree.
Okay? No, I'm going to say it. Go ahead. But are you truly okay with who you are? And for the longest time, I wasn't. I never liked myself. And I mean, as a life coach today, that's crazy, I know, but I didn't like who I was, but it was because I didn't want to have a realistic conversation about the things that I did. Did you ever come to a point that you had to have a realistic conversation about the things that you did?
Yeah, all the time. When I'm watching a movie, when I'm seeing, sometimes when people tell me about their perfect relationships, I get upset and say, man, I wish I would have made those right choices, but that just wasn't my lot in life. But one thing that I do understand when I go through it and I hear it, I know that when I hear all of this great love, I realize they haven't been challenged. So how could you say that great love is love if it hasn't been challenged?
If it hasn't been tried.
It hasn't been tried. And that's one thing that I value, that our love has been tried. It has been challenged. It has been
so many times.
So many times. My wife went to a concert the other day and I was like,
all the things you gonna come up here. Listen, but guess what? What can I do? I can't be uncomfortable by my truth, because if I am, that means that I don't want to change.
Well, you know, Willie, you gonna blast me and I'm gonna blast you. I'm gonna keep
what?
it. She was going to concert. She just took the other day and she said, I ain't going to any more concerts. That's my last concert.
And then right about a
week and a half later, in my mind, see, she may have said that. I'm just telling you.
I said that I'm coming down to the end of concerts.
She may have said what she just said, but being a man, I probably didn't hear that last part, so that throws everything off, right? So I'm sitting up here and I'm saying to myself, man, this woman here, man, knowing we got to save for Spain, knowing that we got to save for all this stuff that we got going on. Yeah. So how she keep going to these freaking concerts, man? Like, for real.
I'm coming to the end of my concert train. That's what I said.
But look, then I literally said, you know what? I'm just going to rent her a car. Because I'm assured that even though I don't like the fact that she's entitled to do what she needed to do. Most men wouldn't understand that. They'll be arguing and fighting. The old Willie,
would have.
Like, you guys will hear this a lot. The 36-year-old Willie, no way. That ain't going down like that. The me now is not because I'm old and because I just let things slide. It just doesn't matter. It's not a relationship breaker for me. Because why? She's entitled to her own level of gain or failure or mistakes. And I have to be there with her to help her pick up those mistakes because I love her. And see, that's what most people not willing to do. I'm gonna leave you because it's the worst time in my life. No, it says for better, for worse. And for those of you that are not married, you might want to consider that because you gotta think about it. What is the worst thing that this person can possibly do to me?
That's right.
That would make me leave?
Right.
Think about that. Because you don't want to get into a relationship if it's some simple stuff.
Right.
That's pretty bad. That
Right.
means that you're not ready for a relationship.
That's right. And sometimes, a lot of times in relationships, we nitpick at certain little things. It's because it's easier to nitpick at other people than to realize that. And if I point out every little thing that my spouse does that mean that I'm at a place where I don't know how to practice patience and understanding? Probably so. Because I know for me, nitpicking was my sign of...
When did you nitpick? I don't know. You confusing me now.
I nitpicked with
I'm
you.
the one that nitpicked.
No,
What
we
do you
both
mean?
did. But what I'm saying is that when I was nitpicking with you...
Oh, wait,
it's
I want to
because
know when you was
that
nitpicking so I can see the future of nitpicking. You finna reveal something right
Yes,
here.
okay. So when we first got together, every time you did something, I asked you, what are you doing? Where you going? Why are you doing that?
Oh, when I call you Inspector Gadget?
Yes.
Yo, okay, all right.
All women are Inspector Gadget because we don't have identity in ourselves.
She's Inspector Gadget.
Every little thing your spouse does. But everything, if you inspect every single thing your spouse does, is because your identity's in them.
And I already got a phobia of being interrogated by the police. She always
That probably
interrogated me, man. That used to aggravate me, man. Like, man, y'all, that's what I tell her too, man.
I
You
don't go through
interrogate
his
me,
phone.
man.
I don't go through it. I don't do those things. I did them in the beginning.
If we don't do that.
I just don't. Like, listen, everything that has been brought to me or has been brought to him has always came out on its own. I trust God, not man.
Nah, she tracks me.
I mean, I track you for safety purposes. I track all my children.
Like somebody is going to.
You never know. Somebody could kidnap
Somebody's
one of my
going to assault me.
I track everybody, so that's bye. I'm gonna track people, okay? Because I want people to be safe. But at the end of the day, listen. The man or woman that you choose to spend the rest of your life with. That's the thing. You have to not only spend your rest of your life with what that person does, but you also have to spend the rest of the life of what that does to you. And you have to ask yourself, are you ready and prepared to live with it? The actions of someone else affecting you directly.
I wasn't ready for that. I can tell you that right now. That is
literally a relationship.
That's 70% of our relationship right there. I didn't want what you did to affect me.
That's right.
And that's what it was doing. It was affecting me in a negative way. And I didn't want to go down that rabbit hole. You're not bringing me down. Tanisha, you're not bringing me down, man. I'm not going back to the gutter. Not going back to the gutter, bro, for real.
If today you knew what you knew now, would you still do it?
Like what? There's so many things.
Like, would we still... I mean, I know we would probably still be together, but would it change the trajectory of how you handle things now in our relationship? Like, if you said, Tanisha, like, I can't do this, like, it's a deal breaker, and I'm asking myself, would I have changed? Probably not.
When you say that, I remember we used to break up all the time, at least once a month.
Like, listen, that's, hey, hi.
That was a lot of deal breakers, man.
Almost 20 years, and we used to break up once every month.
That was a lot of deal breakers, man, for real.
You know what? And that's another thing that I cannot stand, is that 20 years later, like...
There's still some deal breakers.
Still some deal breakers, but here's the thing. The way we handle them now is talk it out, have a realistic conversation. Because the truth is that when you go into an argument or you go into something that's bad, you already know what you're going to do before you even go in there.
And realistically, you're not all the time going to come to a conclusion and an agreement.
You do not. Everything does not have to be solved, right? Because emotions are high.
Now, something I disagree. Some things have to be solved.
Most of the time,
if it's the important things.
Right, important things. But most of the time, little arguments do not have to be solved. And that's where people get in trouble, because you're trying to make a decision on your anger. It ain't going to never work. You can't make a decision when you're angry. You can't see somebody for who they are when you're blinded by your own vanity. That is not the way relationships are supposed to work. That's why you're supposed to separate. You go to one section, I go to one section. Then at the end of the day, when we're both calm, let's talk about it now. Now we're seeing it in a different way. Now we're seeing it through the Spirit. Now we can actually come to resolve. The Holy Spirit don't dwell in anger. He don't.
I don't think the Holy Spirit is going to dwell in any of that, first of all.
Well, I'm just saying, if we get into an argument and I'm telling you, no, Willie, don't walk away. We got to sit down and talk about it. No, we don't.
If we get into an argument, neither one of us are in the spirit.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Why would I sit in that mess and try to solve it? That's silly. We can't. Now, that's what I wish the 23-year-old Tanisha knew. Because, Lord, them arguments was hours. Like, I remember one time
Willie tried to solve it all before you go to bed.
Listen, I remember one time we argued from like 7 o'clock at night till 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm not even lying.
And we walk around like this.
Because we literally lost our voice in the argument.
I've been arguing all night, bro.
Oh, like, I wish, listen, I can't do that no more. My tolerance of how far something goes ain't what it used to be. But here's the thing. All them arguings, now that I look at it right now, the only thing I really wanted from that argument was to be heard. But that could have been saved so many times in so many ways if I would have just said the absolute truth. Willie, you're not hearing me. You're not hearing what I'm saying. So my plight is that as you're going through things in your relationship, you have to have absolute truth. You can't just say I'm upset.
Yeah, because
you can't just say I'm upset because of this and it's doing this. That's what absolute truth is. You say what it's a problem.
Yeah, but absolute truth is subjective. Depends on who has the truth and who's looking at it from whose viewpoint.
Right. But if it's me saying that I have a problem with something that you're doing,
then it becomes your truth. Your job is to make me see those truths as obtainable, or if they accessible, or if I'm able to give you those truths. Sometimes a person can't give you those truths.
That's right. And here's the thing is that all you can do is open the door, but you can't make them walk through. Like Willie, I tell Willie all the time, like sometimes in life I feel like he's emotionally disconnected from me.
You can lead a horse to drink, but you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
And the way that I say it, like realistically, is like, Willie, life has been too crazy for both of us. I really thank everything that you're doing for us and our family to try to survive, but I just need a little bit more time with you. Is there something that we can do to do that? That's how you have it. But old Tanisha, listen, I've been here too long and worked my butt off too hard to be sitting here trying to beg a man to be with me. Why we do that? Like, why we do that? But what I'm really saying is that I don't have an identity enough of myself to know who I am to where that you would be an addition and not the whole package. Ooh.
You like coming up with these little sayings, man.
Because it's the truth. Most women will try to go seeking something from a man that they're supposed to give
I call them punchlines.
Inside themselves. That's why I'm a great life coach. Because at the end of the day, I know that you are only supposed to add to what God has given with me, between me and his relationship, and you should be a part of it, not the package.
You might want to explain that to us that do not understand what you just said.
So if I go to a field, right? And I ask and try to go find a ladybug, right? And I'm spending hours and hours trying to search that ladybug. I come across a snake and it's a snake. It's not a ladybug. I come across a deer and it's not a ladybug. And I come across a bird and it's not a ladybug. And I'm sitting here hours trying to seek things from places that won't give me what I need. But if I close my eyes, sit there in the field by myself and be patient and wait on, in my case, the Lord, and I come and wake up, guess what happens? When you surrender, ladybugs are all over you. So what I'm saying is that when I'm going to seek you, it took me many years to understand that Tanisha needs to have self-love more than self-love in you. Why? because at the end of the day, God says that I am the way, the truth, and the light. He didn't say Willie is. He didn't say that woman is. The way and the truth of life can't be man. That's why you're going to always be the D word and the A word in your mind. For y'all don't know, I don't say those words out loud. It's depression and anxiety because I don't give certain words light. So you not speaking what you need to speak to yourself in that relationship with him causes you to go seek it in other people. Really cannot give me peace. The things that he can do give me peace. But he is not capable of giving that to me. He's not capable of feeling me. He's not capable of all the things that I need to survive in my mind and in my heart. That's only for God to give. And that's what I mean by identity. And if anybody got any questions, let me know, because that's what I coach on. Finding your own identity. Listen, he laughs when I say stuff like this, but the truth is that a lot of us are just so scared to go down certain roads in our life, to go and talk about things that are unspoken, things that need to be said, things that make you uncomfortable. Listen, the uncomfortable shapes and molds you to a structure that life can't drag down, because life will drag you down. That's why Willie laughs when I say this, because I'm not a sad person. I used to be a very sad person. I used to be quiet. I used to not speak. I used to be not what I am today. But I really thank God for all the things that he put me through, because the relationship that I've had with my husband ignited the relationship that I had with God. I wouldn't have what I have with him today if it wasn't for you.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I don't know about all of that. You mean spiritually or you mean
Spiritually.
financially?
Why is we talking about financially?
Because all of it means something
Oh
to me.
my God, this is not, no.
I want to be known for it all.
You want to be known for the man who
Winner,
provides.
winner, chicken dinner.
This is the wonderful specimen that provides
Winner,
for
winner,
his family
chicken dinner.
with the assistance of God's blessings and grace and mercy. Okay, we said it. Now,
Yeah.
this dude is crazy. But anyway, so before we wrap up, Willie, I want to ask you this one last question. If you say, out of all the things in our lives, like changed, what are the things that, because of who I am, made you change to be able to accept everything that comes our way?
How many times that you forgave me of stupid choices or the way I acted or being angry all the time? Because I think one of the, you showing me being an angry person all the time, because sometimes I can find myself getting in that same mind frame as
Right.
my mother, who was always just angry and mad. And I understand now why she was angry and mad, because of life choices of what went on in her life, especially
Right.
in the 60s and 70s and 50s and all that stuff, right? But
So you think that played a part in making you that way?
what?
Watching her be that way?
No. It
No?
might be in DNA. I don't know. I never did a study. I'm not a scientist. You know, I'm not a social scientist, so I don't really know. I just know that growing up, having my granny, Medea, angry all the time, and my mother, Amy's, angry all the time.
Generation curses.
It's like
we could
it
do a
may
whole
be
series
something
on
there.
that.
I don't haven't looked at it, but I do know that regardless of that, I made most of my decisions off of being angry. I was always in survival mode, and I think that bled into every relationship that I was in. And I wanted everybody in the relationship with me to be in survival mode. Like, we
Ooh,
need to
wait,
survive.
hold on.
That means that
I heard
we're not
that.
going out to eat. That means that we're going to fix a steak at home. You know, things
So
like that.
you were upset because we wasn't in survival mode with you?
You wasn't in survival mode with me, yes.
Y'all, I didn't even know this. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see why it's important to talk? Like, I didn't know that's why you were mad. I thought you were just mad to be mad, but now I know that you were mad because you wanted me to be.
I always tell you I'm not mad to be mad. Who wants to be mad all the time?
I don't know. I thought you just want to be mad all the time. Like, I don't know.
That don't
Like,
make any sense, man.
so you wanted everybody to be in survival mode with you.
Everybody to acknowledge the fact that we're in survival mode because we're a black family going through these tough times and the
Wow.
struggle. Neither one of us college educated. went to college, but all I did was party, so I get kicked out.
Wow, I didn't even know that. That makes a
What,
lot
did
of
I get
sense.
kicked out of college?
No,
Because I was
first of all,
partying all the time.
no, I knew that. I'm talking about I didn't know that you were angry because you wanted me to be in survival mode with you. I'm sorry.
When you went to the concert, we in survival mode.
Willie, listen, we're not in survival mode.
We are in survival
In
mode.
your mind, we're survival mode. So
You
see, here
you
we
know
go.
you know
There's
exactly.
the
See,
difference.
this is what I didn't sign up for. You know exactly what we go through, what we going through, both financially, spiritually, and mentally.
And I don't have to
so
get up
you know
here-
where we need to be.
I don't have to get up here and detest that either because to see the God that I serve.
Could you not bring God in this at this specific time? Because
Sorry.
I'm still talking.
Sorry.
You already know.
I just have a certain level of faith. That's it. Like that's, and we know that's what it is, right? Like I get that you want me to be in survival mode, but there's the spirit in me that tells me it's gonna be okay, and I can't join you on that
I sure
ride.
wish you let me know the spirit.
I can't join you on that
being-
ride. I just can't.
Well, you leaving
Because
me.
why
But-
would I do that when God's track record
That's
has
what I
been?
didn't sign up for. I didn't
The
sign up.
track
I did
record-
not sign up to be left alone out there struggling and being in survival mode while the creator God is telling you and not me that it's going to be all right.
I just every other time I've called on his name, he's made it all right. Every other time that I was on my knees crying,
You do
he
realize,
made it all right.
excuse me, you do
That's it.
you do realize I've been in this relationship with
Listen,
you, so
you know,
don't
but-
think I
and
know
you-
that already.
Okay, then. So I live in that. I can't live in what I see. I can't live in what I don't know. I can't do it. I've tried, and I realized my whole
sorry.
life that
I
the
gotta
Holy Spirit
live-
and
I
God
gotta-
has always been in
I
me.
gotta- I
That's
got-
why I've always never broke down.
Okay, that's you. I gotta
just
live
telling
in the
you.
here, now, and some of the future in
That's
order to
'cause you're
get where I
living in
need to
your
be.
flesh.
Nah, that's not why I'm living in my flesh, because half the time I'm not.
You don't think God is going to make our situation better?
You always make our situation better.
Bingo. So what else is there to talk about?
How long?
Next subject.
How long have we been on food stamp? How long has it been since
We
we've been
can't
on-
get food stamps. They say we make
We
too
never
much.
get them. It's been like it got to be 15 years. I want some, I want some government assistance right now, man.
We can't get government assistance because we're middle class.
Oh my
So,
God, I don't
anyway.
feel like middle class, like for real.
They say we are. So at the end of the day.
Anyway,
we're that.
point is that we've never went without. I know that's not my
All right.
point. My point is that we got to think about retirement. So your mind is not on retirement.
I feel that I can only do what I can do. And at that point, all I'm going to do is trust and let God do the rest.
All right, Sister Tanisha. Anyway, neither here nor there. Anyway, people, this is why we named this. Because when your relationship, the overall gist of this is, you didn't sign up for this. You need to think twice about it. And the other thing is that when your relationship changes and
Right.
evolves, you have to change with it. You cannot, no way, stay the same.
Right.
The same John and Jen that was in 2014 is not the same John and Jen in 2024.
Right.
You're different. Times are different. Even if we go through a biblical principle, the Bible that was back then is not the Bible the same today. We can't use it in some of the same scenarios. Why? Because there was no internet. There was no cars. There were no jobs like there are technical jobs. You know, there were certain things that was not put in place in this world now that it was back then. So therefore, life changes, circumstances changes. Always remember that. You'll never be the same in your relationship. You have to evolve as your woman or your spouse or whoever that significant other is evolves. They may have wanted emotional connections
Right.
10 years ago.
Back. And then now it's something
physical.
different. Yep.
They may have wanted romance 10 years ago, and right now they want action.
Right.
They may have wanted financial security back then, and right now they want to spend time. Like,
Right.
you have to evolve with it. You can't stay one track, one minded if you want your relationship to grow.
But you have to ask questions. You have to ask.
You have to communicate.
If you don't ask your spouse what they require of you, I don't believe that's love. It's
Man,
something else.
selfishness.
Yeah, because it's important for me. It's important for me as your wife to give you what you need from me. It may not be 100%. It may not be all the time, but every single day
It's
I
not.
strive. Every single day I strive.
I do see the struggle and I do see you strive, but it's not. It's
No.
like today when you call Jaden on the phone and ask him what he want to eat, and then say you going next door to get Jaden a Five Guy burger. And I'm like, dang man, I brought her to go get her a pizza, and she's going to buy.
Ask you what you wanted after
No,
the fact. I
no,
just didn't
you
ask
got out the
then.
truck, went to go pay for your pizza. You said it's gonna be 10 minutes. You're going over to Five Guys,
for Jaden.
and then I looked at it and I said, so you not gonna ask me, do I want anything to eat? And then she's like, oh, all right.
No, I asked you first.
I didn't hear you.
When I
Again,
caught in the car, you
she
see what I'm
may
saying?
have said it, but some way I didn't
Clean the
hear
wax
it.
out of here, honey bun.
I did at
And
Enterprise. I put a
literally.
key in my ear.
Oh, that was so
But anyway, neither here nor there. What I'm saying is that sometimes she does try, but I don't get mad at it. I could have got mad and say, "Oh man, she gonna buy everybody a burger, them kids. She don't care about me." But no, man, that's not how
Well,
life works.
that's my fault and failure that I didn't ask you first as the man.
But
of
I
this house.
forgave you before it even. But I still have to recognize it and let you see, hey, you're making a mistake right there.
There
you
you
need
go.
to correct that.
And that's it. Can I get mad at him? Because the truth is that if he is the man, I'm supposed to make sure, hey, you need what you got and all that first over the kids. But the truth is that I was just hustling and bustling and I wasn't thinking, and I'm really sorry.
She was thinking about that crispy Little Caesar pizza.
And they messed it up
that
anyway.
She would sleep, and every time she wake up, ooh, that's a nice pizza. Oh, I want a crispy pizza. That's the first thing she woke up. She wanted a Little Caesar pizza. And I was like, girl, you let that TV hypnotize you. And guess who had to drive her to go get the pizza? Me. I had to set up all of this so we could record, but I had to leave to go get a pizza.
You love me so much.
That's what they say. They say
Oh my
the
God.
world goes round
Okay.
and
Nobody want to hear you
round
sing.
and
Okay.
round.
All right. So
They
listen.
say. I'm sorry, I got a little carried away.
Anyway, well, we'll go ahead and wrap up, you guys. Thank you so much again for watching.
Peace.
Here's the thing.
The experience
Wait,
exchange.
No, not
the
yet.
experience. We're
Not
not
yet.
gonna do it. We can't do it together.
Listen, no, because I need to say this. It takes 2 seconds to share somebody post.
Oh, there she go.
It takes 2 seconds to share somebody post. Every single person that has probably watched this has a personal relationship with me in some way,
Cameron.
shape, or form. Okay, I don't know people. Please share. Please comment. Please give us some feedback, because the truth is that we're not out here trying to talk about nonsense. We're out here trying to explain truth and really help people change their lives. So if you could please support us.
That's what I never understood. Hold on, wait. Let's do this like
Here we
this
go.
first.
See, look, I knew I didn't want to do it so far, but you know
You
we
only
gotta-
gonna get this on the live. So let's look
Okay.
at this. People cater to drama more than they cater to anything that's gonna feed their soul.
Our
or
post talking about our
anything-
infidelity is out now at 40,000 views.
and still going.
And still
I'm
going.
still getting blasted and still getting
Yes.
comments. That's some people understand. Still like some likes. Then I got another one that's controversial that talks about if my partner dies. That one's getting like some traction and stuff like that. We almost had 1,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Go subscribe to us on
3,000
YouTube,
on
please.
TikTok, and it's like it's only because of one thing: drama. That's it. So we all complain about we need some positive stuff in this world. We need some real people. We don't need I like to use real life examples. Ben Affleck, everybody was rooting for Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez. And look, divorce already. How did they get divorced?
I feel so bad
It's all
for her.
secret.
I would really like, at this point, and I don't know you, J-Lo, and this ain't even like an attack. Like, being married 4 times, at some point, when do you hold yourself accountable? Like, to your actions. Like,
What went wrong? That's what I'm
What
saying.
went wrong inside of
people,
yourself?
people out
Like,
there
for
really
real.
need help. Cardi B and Offset, like people really need help out there, man. And
Right.
everybody's just sitting back, just enjoying the drama,
Yes.
enjoying the ride. But
Right.
nobody wants to say, "Hey, man, there goes some stuff that might help you. There goes some stuff." Because really, to be honest with you, man, we're taking like an hour out of our day, and then when I'm editing and everything,
it's
and,
literally hours behind the camera.
and
You guys can't see all this.
I'm not
but
doing it for fame because I don't need that. We have change. We
I
are.
don't want fame.
you know-
But here's the thing: we already decided. So if we get fame, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to spend my money traveling across country and just going bless people financially for no reason. God gave me this vision a very long time ago, and I know it's going to happen.
And then if I don't need the money because my kids are going to be out of the house. I just want to retire in Spain. Everything everybody else get, I'm helping everybody. That's just life.
I'm going to travel around across the country giving people money.
Because
like,
why?
That's all I want to do.
People need help, man.
They
This
do.
generation coming up really needs help. We talk about them. We get mad at them.
The younger people
they
here
really need
have
help.
no guidance, no true figure of what being a woman or being a man looks like.
Giving themselves, they think it's okay to give themselves to every
dress
Tom,
any kind of way,
Johnny, and Harry.
To have no morals, to let anything come out your mouth. Like, there is no structure and foundation for these kids. And really, for me, this is why we do it.
All the way up to 28, 29, and even 30.
They need help.
31,
So
32,
here
33.
We are, putting all our business out there for the streets.
Now, and that's what everybody think. Like, why would I want to put my business out?
I'm very private. I don't like telling my business.
Like, who wants to put their business
That's my own
out?
vanity, and I said it again. I don't like people to really know my life. Because, of course, the first
Definitely not me.
more him than me, to be honest. But
I'm private. I only have friends on not even one hand. Like, they know who they are. Like, my circle is very, very small.
Mine is too.
And my circle is so small. We in different states. That's how you're laughing. I'm serious. Like, that's how small it is. Like, I value friendship. I value relationships, and I value privacy.
Right.
So this is really hard for me. People think that this is easy, but it's not.
But the
it's
platform
hard.
that you put yourself, like for me, I'm more honest on social media live than I am in my personal life.
True.
And it also helps me too. Because when I go back and watch these things, it triggers things in me to know that, man, if I see myself in a different light, maybe I can use that to be able to change and continue moving and change to make me a better me.
For me, get all the dirt out in the opening,
right?
So nobody can ever use it against you.
And we become, somebody gonna be like, "Oh, I know when they did such and such." We already told it.
We already told it. This is what it's all about.
Because people can't hold. Truth can be held against you if it's never brought to the light. But if you bring it to the light, what weapons do you have for the devil to attack me?
And the thing is that anybody can ask me questions. I will not hold anything back. Because if you ask me, what was in your moment when you decided to go sleep with that chick? I'm going to tell you exactly what was in my mind frame.
And does that make you upset, Tanisha? No, because that's his personal reality. And it happened in the past.
She was there.
Why would I get mad at him speaking something that's already happened? Does it create things in my mind for him to do it over again? No, it does not. It actually makes me love him more that he's being vulnerable in this moment. And it also guards me. Well, wow, he's changing that way. Let me go ahead and use that to change in my own way as well.
It always, trials make you a better parent. Even I can't understand why people don't know that.
Who stepped out first? Will you want to answer that?
It's a kind of even thing because I think she stepped out first.
No. So here's the thing. We've been talking about this for 20 years, but the truth is that she
John
stepped
supposed
out
to have been her cousin.
No, here's the thing, okay? The person he's talking about was somebody in my past that I dealt with. When he discovered what happened, and there was nothing
You remember
happening.
when the Motorola flip phone was out? This is how old this is.
Dang,
and
you
then I read these
Motorola flip phone.
talking about he was always in love with her. He's glad. When you gonna get rid of it?
And to this day, he
And
probably
when you gonna
still
get
is.
rid of that ninja? And I was like, oh yeah,
But nothing
all right.
happened.
I show her
that's
better
what I'm
than I can
saying,
tell her.
Is that he messed with his baby mama, one of his other baby mama, while we was together. So actually, he started first. Is that a lie?
Nope.
Okay, so you realize it. He was first.
No, that's not the truth.
Yes, it is. You slept with her.
No, that was.
Yes, you did.
We are conflicted on this, people. We'll come back to
We'll
that.
come back.
But
I think
it
was
really
him.
doesn't matter.
It
We
doesn't
stepped
matter,
out
right?
a lot.
It
So
was.
therefore, it's a lot of it because we was going back and forth. Matter of fact, thank God that we ain't spread no disease. We ain't got no disease, nothing. Like that's the blessing right there.
Correct.
But
'Cause it
other
could've
than
been
that,
worse.
I take the butt. I say I stepped out first.
Oh, look at him. See? You're saying that you take that. Listen. So our infidelity, right? People ask me all the time, how could you still be so happy knowing that he's had affairs?
Willie, how can you be so happy knowing that her relationship went on for like about a year, maybe 2, and then some sneak attacks after that?
Yeah. How can you be happy after that? Because Willie is a man, okay?
Willie's
Willie's a man. Did you guys step out with different people or the same people? Different people for him, but
Same for her.
same
She
for
likes the
me.
connection. That's why we were talking
Correct.
about the
So
connections.
I've never like bounced around with men. That's not my jam. Like I probably could say one hand of people I slept with, but I go back.
Husbands deep.
Yeah, it's emotional connection. So all the people that I've ever
That's the worst connection.
Right, that's the worst, ladies.
That's
and
the
that's
worst
what you don't
one.
understand.
That
For
cuts you
women,
deep.
that's why it's different if we cheat on a man, and it's hard for a man to forgiveness because we don't sleep with people just like they sleep. They can sleep and be done. We have an emotional connection with that person, and it allows us to still feel trapped a little bit. Like every person I've slept with, I've loved at some point. I don't sleep with random men. I never have. So
You can't say love. You can only say you strongly like and lust them.
I strongly liked and lust. In my version at then. At 20, I thought it was love.
It was love. You thought it was love.
Right? Not to what I know love now.
She's arguing with me about the fact, knowing that this is where they blast us at, because this dude didn't like me at all.
Right. It was an enemy, technically.
He wasn't like an enemy.
He wasn't
I think that's
an
received.
enemy. He just,
We all worked
they didn't
together.
like each other. That's
He
all
was
it
getting married. He wanted her.
Right.
I wind up with her, and
he
that's
was
been history
upset.
ever since.
And ever since then, he was like, I'm going to get you.
So when
and
she told me
somehow
who it was, I
fell
think
for
it struck me like I wanted to jump off a bridge. That's how hard it was.
That's so hard to hear.
And for me, it was different people, all because she wouldn't open her legs.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Before it got physical with the dude that I had an infidelity, it went on a very long time before we even became physical. Why? Because it was all about emotion for me. I didn't want to go sleep with this man. I wanted to go have an emotional connection with this man because I wasn't getting an emotional connection from him. But ladies, I'm telling you, please.
Nope,
it won't
I was
solve
not.
anything. It
There
would
were
not solve
warning.
anything.
There were warning signs. Let me tell you that. There was
Oh,
warning
the
signs.
warning signs.
She would tell me, "Willie, you got to stimulate my mind." And I was like, "Man, I ain't stimulating your mind. I ain't stimulate your mind at the beginning, girl. I have an itch."
He doesn't realize he did, but he did.
She said I did.
He did.
Anyway, neither here nor there. And I was like, man, I don't feel like I have to do all that. I've been to work all day and did
Right.
all this. Man, I got an itch. Do you want me to get it from somewhere else, or do you want to give it to me?
By itch, guys, he means sex.
Yeah, sex. I need the physical connection. That's what I needed. I'm a sexual person. I got 10 kids. That's who I am. Like, that's the way I was built. I mean, sorry, it's true. It's reality.
Right.
So therefore, I had no control over my urges. My urges had control over me. So
Right.
for me, it was multiple chicks at specific times where she wouldn't give it to me. I go get it from them. They was happy to give it to me too.
Knowing he was in a relationship,
Knowing I was in a relationship, knowing I was
didn't
married, I
care,
told them
knowing
that I
married.
ain't leaving my wife, I ain't leaving my family. They was just happy with that, just to get a
And
little bit
listen,
part of me.
Listen, do I go get mad at the woman for what? I didn't make no commitment with this woman. Like, why would I go blow up for them? Like, I don't understand that. Why would you go get mad at the chick who don't even know you, who don't even have no investment in you? That's a waste of time. Go get mad at the person that you're supposed to be laying up with every single night that made the commitment to not be a cheater, right? Like, anyway, that's a whole nother subject. We got off the subject, but Chrissy, we just wanted to make sure it was.
Any other questions? Because
Any
we
other
have
questions?
a lot of answers. I like being asked questions because
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you straight up what's what.
Okay, she said, at what point did you decide no more cheating and you two were going to give it your all and make it work? What changed? Ooh, that's a good question. I can't answer for him, but I'm going to answer for me.
When one day a chick went on Facebook.
Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. Let him
She
say
went
it.
on Facebook, told my wife that I was the best thing ever happened to her. Let's all get together. She wanted to be in a relationship with me and my wife. She wanted to be a mother to my kids. She tagged everybody on Facebook, embarrassed me. That's when I knew that, man, I can't be doing this, man. I cannot be having sex. I cannot be
That was about,
unking
what,
the
5 years ago?
I cannot be unking the ecking out of these chicks.
Yes.
Because these chicks be tripping. There's a different
So
breed of
5
chicks.
years ago. This is about 5 years ago.
So at this
And-
specific point, because coronavirus was having a hard time,
Yep.
finances was getting very dwindled. She wasn't being financially responsible.
Yep. We wasn't connecting physically.
She was having
wasn't-
problem with the kids, with our
Yes.
oldest son, always
Yes.
arguing. I'm like, man, I'm just tired. She wasn't, because in other words, she turned into me and I turned
Yes.
into her.
That can happen too.
Now I wanted to be stimulated. I wanted the connections.
Right.
I wanted to lay up. I wanted to spend time with her.
And because of everything we went through, I've now found my identity in myself. So I'm not at a place where I was seeking him the way that I used to seek. So that's another thing, ladies, you got to understand is that these things, when this is how you want to be, then guess what? I'm going to go find out who the hell I am and have my own identity in myself. And now guess what? He wants what I'm not giving.
Because at that time, neither one of us,
it's a change in roles.
Neither one of us was searching for the Creator. We were searching for self-pleasure, self-love, what we wanted, what we thought we wanted. And I think that happened for so long that it was a cycle. Right. And so when I sat down and I thought about it, and I said, "Hold wait, something got to change here. I can't keep doing this. Do I spend the rest of my life into something that I don't want to be, or do I need to leave this relationship?" Because I was considering leaving this relationship. Because I was like, maybe this relationship is toxic. Maybe this is just a warning sign that I don't need to be here. Because if I'm going to keep cheating like this, I just need to be out on my own. Right. But then I also thought about and looked at my children. Now, I think that's what really hit, because my oldest had called and say, "Daddy, what's going on?" Right. Like, that's the most. Then my ex-wife even called, like, "Willie, what are you doing over there?" Da 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 da. Because she was gotten on me for dealing with the situation. So and then I'm looking at this and saying, "Man, I'm telling you, man, I did some foul stuff, bruh." And then when I thought about the forgiveness, when I thought about the love, when I thought about, because she asked, like, "What am I not doing?" And I had to literally tell her the 100% truth that I didn't want to do. Like, who wants to admit their truths? Who wants to tell these truths about these secret sins that you don't have?
And after a certain point, you have to ask yourself, do you keep wanting to go back to this place?
Yes.
This place of destroying everything and everybody around you.
And that's what I was doing. I was destroying everything.
Choice of being unfaithful.
And then
for me, that's what it was about.
And then on that side, what made me stay and decide to say, "Hey, you know what?" Because the forgiveness, because the understanding, because I seen more of myself, because God for some reason the role was twisted, right? She became this angry person, and I became this compassionate, understanding person now, right? So now I was able to see from her eyes, and she was able to see from my eyes. So now we better understood each other's situation. So now we can come to a medium and say, "Okay, this is what he need. Okay, this is what she need." Before then, we were blinded, because that's what the enemy wanted. He wanted to destroy marriages, and nobody gets that.
Blind us from the truth of what's happening in front of us.
That is correct. That we were our own worst enemies.
That's correct.
And we was going to die in our sins and say, "Hey, this is it."
Yeah. So for me, it's just when he found out what I did and I saw him cry. I think one time I saw him cry before.
Oh my God, T, why you do this to me?
That destroyed my soul. Like, I realized in that moment, I can't do that to a human being. Like, it made me feel like all of the gifts and wondrous things that God given to me, right? All the tragedy I went through as a childhood, finding somebody who truly loved me for myself, even at my worst points, that I would do that to somebody that I so say love.
I think that's the key. Finding somebody who will love you at your worst points, at your worst behavior.
I could never, ever, ever do that again. And we joke about stuff, but I could never go out and step on him again. Like, I would just leave him first. Like, I can't.
Same here.
I can't ever have that feeling in my soul again. Like, it took me many, many years to forgive myself, because I had to, we lived back home. I had to see this person face to face. We were all around in the same circle. So when I had to look at his face and Willie was in the same room with this person, like, I thought about how embarrassing that must be for him to know that he still stayed with me.
No, not really.
I'm just saying, it was embarrassing.
That's what everybody don't get.
I was really embarrassed for myself. I was embarrassed for you,
okay,
our children.
let's just put it out there. I was not embarrassed. The reason why I was not embarrassed, because I'm confident as a man in who I am.
Right.
Like,
I get that.
I don't have no embarrassment. First of all, you was not a virgin. Okay.
Obviously, I had 2 kids.
Like, that's what nobody gets. You slept with people before.
I've done some awful things. I'm
Okay.
not proud of that.
You're
I've
a
made
human
some very
being.
bad choices in my younger days.
Like in my
I regret, and
the
I
younger
repented for
Willie
all
would have
of
never
them.
thought like this. Like in my mind, like that doesn't embarrass me. So what, dude? Like what you accomplished? You the one that lost because you got a connection and a glimpse of what I get for a lifetime.
Oh,
Like,
that's so sweet.
And in the end, I won. Am I the exception? Did I have to worry about it? I say, baby, am I good enough for you,
No.
baby? Am I is he better than me, baby? Why? No, man. I'm telling you, for a moment I did, but then I'm like, hold on, wait a minute, man. This. Come on, man. You caused this, dude. Like you have to own up to your actions of what you caused. Like for real, she was looking for you to be a leader. She was looking for you to be the man. You wasn't none of that. You wasn't emotionally giving her what she needs. She never had that. So guess what? She depended on you to give that because guess what? That was fresh love in the beginning, and in the end, you tainted that. You destroyed that.
Right.
And now, what are you gonna do? You gonna leave? You gonna leave her like that because what? Because trust has been broken. You gotta build that trust back up. You gotta keep pushing. You gotta keep going. Why?
Yeah.
Because you are a man. That's what a man does. Accept their responsibilities, keep it moving, and keep it pushing. And then guess what? Bring the family along with them.
Wow. That's a beautiful thing that you said.
Any other questions, anybody? I'll tell you like it is.
Man, like this, it just, anyway, sometimes I get so speechless
Somebody
sometimes.
ask questions.
I got here late, so is there such a thing as a non-negotiable in marriage? When you are married in God, no. For me, it ain't. Someone asked me, what if you go cheat again? Why would I live in what if? Why would I live in, that is the confusion, and that's the devil's playground, and that's not where I
You do
live.
realize that goes for both of us. What if she go
What if
cheat
I
again?
cheat again? Right? Like, what if I go out and do it again? Like, I don't live in what ifs. So for me, the reason that there's a non-negotiable when it comes in my marriage,
First of all,
like there is nothing because I love him completely.
that's
Like,
her. That's in her head.
That's-
but
that's
this is
how-
how
that's
you.
how I
This
see
is
it.
how you really know it, right? Think about this. What if she cheats again?
What if?
Right? What if she cheats again?
Right.
If she cheats again, that's what she chose to do. It still does not affect me. Why doesn't it affect me? It means that it's really time to move on or go on. The experience and the lifetime that I've had with her,
And at
it
this
has come
point,
to an end.
if I
It's
still make
plain
the
and
same
simple as
mistakes,
that.
what other choice is there but to break up?
That's it.
But for me, here's the thing, is that I trust him. So I don't have I don't trust that this ain't my forever. If by some crazy thing, then it's God's will, and I have to accept it.
But you have to set some boundaries,
Right,
though.
right? And me and him have enough conversations to know,
But
like,
we have to set boundaries for each
this
other.
is what is acceptable, this is what is not acceptable.
We didn't have that before.
We never did that before. We never said, hey, infidelity is a we not doing it.
Non-negotiable.
Right? If that comes to the point after everything we've been through, then guess what? We gonna break
Because
up.
it's really actually at this point in time in
We
our
know better.
relationship, it's really time to move
Right,
on.
we know better.
Like,
At this point, if we still making these stupid choices, it's time to go after 20 years.
yeah. I mean,
Right.
I look young, but man, I got maybe 20 years left of quality life. I
Right.
really want to enjoy that with someone because I'm heterosexual. I want to be with a partner. That's my desire. I want to be somebody I can build something with. And you know, me going out there and finding somebody new and I did that already. Now you got to understand, the grass is not green on the other side.
Never.
The 80-20 rule. All right. When
really
I thought that
applies.
maybe I could go on that other side, it didn't work. That
Right.
gave me the part that I wanted that was missing, but the other part, there's no woman, and understand this, for me, there's no woman in this world that this woman can give me on her worst day. Like, she don't even have to do, she can just walk into a room and it'll just make me feel so powerful that I can conquer the world. There's no woman, sexual, when I went out there and cheated, there was no woman that can make me feel like that. And then that would made me also realize that this is useless, man, because I'll never, ever find a woman, I know it's corny, but it's like the song, like the one I got. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's no woman. You know, she may not be the most beautiful woman in the world, but she's the most
Definitely not.
beautiful woman to me. She's the most perfect woman to me. She may not be the perfect woman in the world to anybody else, but she's more perfect to me because guess what? On her worst day, On her worst day, I can walk in the room and see her sleeping, snoring. I still love that thing. She still turned me on. She looking good right now.
Bye.
Anyway, neither here nor there. I know without a shadow of a doubt, without a shadow of a fact, that
He got me blushing.
we learn from each other and we what's best for each other. I know what we were built to do. I know where we're supposed to be. We have our trials, even to this very day. This is not no perfect marriage. I don't want. Let's not get this twisted. Let's be real about this.
Yeah.
Our marriage and who we are right now is not a perfect marriage.
It's not.
But
And it never probably will be.
we are perfect for each
That's
other
right.
because we understand each other, and there's certain boundaries we put in place that we accept and what we won't accept.
And truth circles through our life.
That is
so that's
correct.
another thing that keeps
Come
us
on,
strong.
I don't like paying that. You reap
Right.
what you sow.
I did
stuff.
that too much, too bad, and it was not fun.
It ain't fun at all.
Hold on, somebody asked a question. What did that epiphany look like? What was the conversation?
Which epiphany? That was a bunch of them.
Oh, the epiphany. Oh, about us realizing we didn't want to cheat. The epiphany for me was when I saw him cry about it. Like that was my epiphany, and it didn't take like 1,000 times. Like I still remember the day, where he was, what he was wearing, what he did when he cried, and for me, that, like I said, I was done. I was like, okay, you go. And that's the conversation I had within myself. So that also has to happen. It's not just you seeing the thing that makes the epiphany happen. It's about you speaking truth to yourself to open up the windows of understanding so you could truly change. So for me, it was, this man has never, regardless of his flaws, there's never been a man who has stood by you with your imperfections, all your childhood trauma, all of the things that you went through in your life, all the things that you have yet to discover about yourself, all the things that he's accepted. He loves you and he's been there for you more than your own family has. And this is what you do to somebody that you so say love? No.
All right, my turn.
That's what it was. For me.
Truthfully, my epiphany. You sure you want this? I might wait for you to say yes or no.
She wants it. You want it, Christy? Yeah, she wants
Is
it.
it yes or no? You got to say yes or no because I'm not going to say anything.
Wow, listen, he's going to say it. He's probably going to say it, but it's a lot of people just can't accept when they hear something so shocking, right? Like, it's hard. She said yes. Go ahead.
I was about to have sex for the last time with this girl.
See, and this is the first time I'm hearing this, y'all. Listen. This is the first time I'm hearing this. Go ahead.
I was about to have sex for the last time with this girl, and this girl told me that she wanted to marry me, and that if my wife would let us all be together, she would love that. And I immediately said, man, this is everything I ever wanted. This is real life. This is everything I ever wanted.
Wow.
Just like everybody else got. They got 3 wives and 4 wives, and I can have this and have me some, what you call it, concubines, man. This is what I want. This is every man's dream almost, right? And then that's when I got, believe it or not, I really got struck, and I was like, holy, wait a minute. I could never get this on my own when I was free, when I was single. But all of a sudden, all of this is coming to me right now. That's when everything, it just couldn't get it up. And that's, to be honest with you, that's really rare for me, like for real. And then I felt convicted. Tears started coming down my eyes. And then I literally told this chick, this is it. I can't do this no more. And that's when she went on Facebook and blasted me because she said, either I'm going to continue to do it and be with her, or she's going to tell everything. You know what I told her? I'm going to die. They ain't going to say nothing ever. And you can do what you want to do. I'm going to deny it to the bone. And I denied it to the bone, and that girl did what she did too. She found everything. I never did give her a real name. She found my whole name. She found out where I stay, everything, like for real. The devil really wanted me. This is how I knew.
Why. Listen to
I was really ready to get. I let it all go.
This is why. Like this is
first of all, everything I ever wanted.
Women out here really doing that? Like,
yep, they are.
They out here saying that they want to be.
I keep telling y'all, there's somebody out there.
Jam. So that's crazy. You know, I would have did that
There is somebody out there that'll do what you won't do and then some and more.
Women, y'all out here really telling men, married men, and y'all will have them
because they don't understand. They don't know their worth.
That's crazy.
Anyway, neither here nor there. Did I
I'm
answer?
shocked.
Did I answer that in a way that you wasn't expecting it? I hope that clarifies some things. I'm not. I mean, I'm laughing and smirking, but I'm telling you right
No,
now,
I ain't never heard that story in my life.
this was a real
Because
life
what
story.
woman goes and asks a man what's the details on the infidelity? How many conversations y'all had?
Oh,
where y'all
she
was?
asked me the details on the infidelity.
I did.
Until this very day, I ain't never told
But
her.
here's the thing. I asked because I felt like if he'd have said something, it would have gave me peace. But the truth is that I could never get peace.
She'll never
from
get
him.
peace from anything that I say. It only make it worse.
Correct. So guess what I did? I would speak peace for myself. What she said? You a mess, Willie. He is. He's a mess, but he's my mess.
I'm real.
You never know what's gonna come out this man's mouth. But here's the thing.
I'm just trying to, you know,
Even now, hearing that, does it make me feel some type of way? No, it doesn't.
a Peter is a Peter and a Pootie is a Pootie.
Oh my God, here we go with this. These women out here are truly a mess. Yes.
I had no connection with this chick. I was a liar. I was a deceiver. I really lied to this girl. I
feel bad that,
I told her
like-
that I wasn't leaving my wife, but at the same time, I never told her that I was going to be with her. I just told her what she wanted to hear, you know, just what it was to get what I want, because my wife wasn't giving me what I wanted. That's really the truth. She wasn't giving me what I wanted, and I kept on telling her verbally, you know, for real. But how was I going to get what I want when I wasn't doing the things I was supposed to do as a husband? Like, real talk. So, see, all of this stuff I can say now, I couldn't say this some years ago. I really couldn't
Right.
say all of this because I'm ashamed. But right now, I've come to realization is I am who I am.
But when
my
you're
past does not.
saved-
My past does not. I was saved during these
I'm
times.
saying
I just
when
wasn't
God
filled with the Holy
saves
Ghost.
you from your sins,
Yeah.
you're not ashamed by them.
Yeah, cause my past made me who I am today, and a lot of it I'm not ashamed of it, but it built me up into the man that I am now. I am a good man. I am a great man because why?
Absolutely.
Because as you could tell, the Creator God has really blessed me mentally, spiritually, and physically. Because people my age and people with my mind frame, they're all dead.
Yeah.
Nobody's telling you guys the truth. This is the real truth. Like, we're trying to be real with you guys. We're taking this time to tell you how, what, when, where, and what's going on, and what was our mental.
And there's gonna be some people that probably after this, like I said, my sister
Man.
called me and said that everybody in my hometown is talking about this, saying my
Kaplan, that's where I'ma
aunties,
bury her
my-
at.
No, I'm not being married to Kaplan.
Bury you in Kaplan.
No, everybody is asking my mom, like, why is your daughter out here putting out all her business? Listen.
That's our business, just not her business.
Listen, the truth is the light, and we trying to shine a light so bright to where that people really want to know who this man we call God is. Who is this? Who is this thing that y'all keep coming back to, that keeps saying that, oh, I'ma love you for who you are no matter what. I'ma forgive you, and the other world tells you you should be ashamed of your sins. That I'ma sit up here and tell you to be judged by the things that you do instead of going to seek knowledge and truth from the thing that can actually save you. I'm gonna scream his name from the top of the mountains to the low valley in the field, because if it wasn't for God, I don't know where I would be.
Could you not make this into Sunday church?
Dun, 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 dun,
Y'all see what I got to deal with, man? Anyway, anybody got any more questions?
I think she said one last question. Christy, go ahead, girl.
Christy, you can ask a whole bunch of them. We ain't going nowhere. I'm just going to go over there in my man cave and go to sleep.
This is his normal time to fall asleep, FYI. But yeah, I sometimes feel that I'm not worthy of certain
What was the
things.
question? You didn't read the question.
She ain't answered yet. Sometimes I feel like I'm not worthy of certain things in my life, but God shows me that I'm worthy because he said I am. And that's what you have to understand, is that the world, even the people around you, we will analyze their actions. It'll make us feel that we're not worthy.
It's too many judges. We judge ourselves, and a
Correct.
lot of people judge everybody, but we all human in this world. Even dogs make mistakes. Animals make mistakes.
Jet doesn't make a
People
mistake. He's perfect.
Who?
Jet.
That dog make a lot of mistakes.
That's
That
my
dude
baby.
peed in the kennel the other day. He made a big mistake.
Hold on, let's see. I don't know if it's been asked, but what made you stay, and how did you learn to trust again? What made me stay?
All it is, girl.
Mary, that's you asking that question, girl.
Mary Tinsdale, come on.
Come on.
All it is. Come on, Mary.
You know what I'm working with.
personality.
You know what I'm working
come on
with,
now.
girl.
You know I'm
How
clowning
could
with
I
you,
ever
girl.
leave that? But no, what made me trust again was God. like for real. Because when I was praying, asking God to give me trust, his response was, well, I trust you.
That's the same for me.
I trust you.
Tupac came out, who am I to judge? Only
You
God
wake
can
up
judge
every
me.
day, and I know you're going to probably do something that will hurt me, but I'm going to trust you anyway.
And that's the biggest things. Being on the outside, uh, it's a two-way street.
Right.
Knowing that God forgives you, and those that don't even believe in God, people forgive you, but yet you don't forgive other people. Those are the worst
Right.
people ever. Do you really
Correct.
want to be like that?
Right.
So in order for you to forgive, you have to be put in a position to show who you really are. Will you forgive or won't you
Right.
forgive? How much would you hold against that person? You know,
Correct.
and we are individuals, like we're people. We judge before we even know we judge.
Right. And
Like-
it's in us, and we're not trying to do it intentionally. But the reason that we judge is because we don't understand. Judgment is the absence of the spiritual discernment in trust. Ooh.
But she asked you a question about, but you going off the subject though.
No, I'm
so
not. So she asked me, how did I learn to trust again? I told her, God told me I can't trust spiritual gifts allow you to take everything you throw on people and throw it back on yourself.
That's it.
That is the discernment that God gives you from the Holy Spirit.
Mary, you see how I dug it out of her even more simple? See what I'm saying? That's marriage. Ask her a question because she loves to talk.
I do love to talk. I'm not gonna lie, but it's because of my love to try to help. But anyway, yeah. So I have to get trust. God trusts me to say, Tanisha, the things that I know you need to change in your life, I trust you that one day you're gonna do it. So why wouldn't I extend that to the person I love the most? That's kind of as simple as it is. Oh, so Chrissy asked a question. Okay, Willie, when you said you denied it to the bone, at what point did you decide to come clean, and what did that look like for you?
Because Tanisha's an Inspector Gadget. She went and talked to
First
the
of
girl.
all, I wasn't an Inspector Gadget. When the girl blasted everything on Facebook, we talking about this last rip. When the girl blasted everything on Facebook, I honestly just wanted to have a conversation with her, not to get
So it was either I was going to tell her or the girl was going to tell her.
We both know bras they gonna put it all out there.
Men like to lie till you die.
And here's the thing: do you regret doing that when you could just told the truth?
I'm gonna be honest with you, no. That's the hardest thing I ever had to do in my life was tell these truths, man.
Now but let me tell you what the truth looked like for him and why he's saying it. He had to get all of our kids together,
Bingo.
all of our family together,
God brought my sins before me.
and sat in front of his own children
And the ex-wife.
and the ex-wife, who is now our family. So now she has to watch him
But
do
I think
what
about
he did
that,
to
man.
me.
Like, I was really
right?
a bad person, dog, because I cheated
Because
on my
now
ex-wife
his
too.
ex-wife, who's a part of our family, who we now get along with, has to sit here and listen to the man do the exact same thing that he did to me to her.
And see, that's the second part of that is that the embarrassment of my wife, man. Like
That's embarrassing
I
for
just
me,
told
right?
her at this point.
That
I told her.
Well, listen, my husband's ex-wife had to listen to
at
what
this
he did
point,
to
I
me.
just told her it was over. You know, let's just call it quits, man, because this is the worst thing
You
ever.
think I could have done it, huh?
But her forgiveness goes a long way.
Every time he does something, I've talked about this. I instantly forgive
And
him.
you know-
I don't know why. He's the only person in my whole life.
she's not like an ugly woman. She's very beautiful.
I
Like, for
instantly
real.
forgive him. I don't know why. That's how I knew he was my soulmate. Because the first time he did something and I instantly forgive him, I was like, what is this? I wasn't mad. I didn't hold on to resentment. I wasn't hurt. It was just like instant. Oh, he did it? You're forgiven. Why you think that's what it is? And for me, that's why I know.
Hold on, wait. For instant, for you wasn't instant for me.
Okay,
because
whatever,
I
I'm
was
just
getting
saying.
beat down.
It
Trust
was
me on that one.
instant, it
I
was
just
instant
kept
for
on
me.
telling the chick, look, man, I don't want to talk. This is how it was. This didn't happen like immediately. I told her. It was Saturday night at 4:45 on a
Right.
Wednesday morning.
It
The
wasn't
wind was
all that.
blowing. It wasn't all of that. Not right then and there. This was over a week's time, and I just like, man, I'm done. I can't do this.
And then
I don't want to talk about it.
here's
Just leave
the
it alone.
cherry
Go
on
your
the
own
top,
way. Let's just
Chrissy.
call it quits.
This is what I think it was also too. As he sits here with all of our 10 children to have to explain what happened and what he did, okay? He literally counseled his daughter the week before about her boyfriend cheating on him.
And I had to look at both
and you had to
sides.
look at her in the face when his daughter said, "Daddy, how could you do that to me, knowing you was cheating on Miss Tanisha?" the whole
Told you
time?"
it comes back around. Karma is a mug.
Boom. Why would I ever, with everything we went through, wish anything on him? I know the God I serve. I know he gonna get it tenfold.
And still suffering
It's
from it.
important to him as a man to be a father. So if God is trying to change your sins in your life, you don't think he's going to attack every part of your life until you truly change? He will.
For me, changing was, it had to happen. It wasn't, see, at this point where we at right now, think about it. Change had to happen in me to put me right here before you.
Correct.
Or before anybody.
Right.
And even when I chop this up and do little shorts,
They're going to get us.
they're going to get us. But it's going to reach some people that's going to understand and say thank you, because we meet a lot of those people also, right? So when you think about it, it wasn't a die situation. It wasn't destined to go the other way. It was destined to go this way.
Exactly.
And the only way you know is you have to follow that rule, that biblical principle. You follow that biblical principle, it's going to come to an end. You're going to look back up on it. It's always going to be a reason for it. You know, like with the kids thing. Like I was getting hit. Man, I ain't never got hit like that before. It's like the more sin, now I'm going to say this real. This is real talk for anybody. The more sin you do, too much given, much required.
Right.
The more sin you do, especially when you're called and you're chosen. This is how you know, real talk. The more sin you do, the faster it's revealed.
Yep.
It ain't no hiding it. Some
Correct.
people can conceal this for
And
years.
there's people right now that have secrets holding for like 10 and 20 years.
Die with these
That's
secrets.
not with us.
For us,
It's instant.
it's like
it's
that.
real quick.
Telling you, man.
So that's what you have to understand too, is that if revelation keeps happening in your life, right? There's something that you're supposed to see that you're not seeing, because the revelation is supposed to spark change. And if it's not, the revelation gonna keep happening until something sparks in you to be different. That's it. She said, Tanisha, once he claimed clean, were you ready to receive his remorse? And that's what I'm saying. That's what I used to get upset with Willie about it. Like, I used to make him feel bad for it and like attack him because I wasn't angry. I wasn't mad. Do you understand, as a woman, when you've been disappointed by every man figure you've had in your life, and then a man comes along and does the same thing that all them other men did, and you instantly forgive him? Could you imagine what that does to me emotionally?
That part hurt too, because her,
like, could you understand that?
Knowing that she had
That's what it did. It hurt. Like, I didn't understand it and I didn't recognize it. So my father disappointed me. My brother
and that's where the hurt came in for me.
All of the men, and then I finally come and find a man who loves me, and then this happens. Like, of course, it's a hit to your soul. But guess what? When I forgive him, and when I first felt that feeling, I was like, oh wow, this is what God's love really looks like. This is exactly how. For me,
You
I
have
look
to
at
experience
it now.
it, man.
You have to experience to even know what I'm talking about. For me, that's the blueprint of how I love others. If I can instantly forgive my husband for all the things that he's did to me, so if that one person that God put in my life for me to say, okay, Tanisha, this is what I want you to see. This is going to be the person that's going to show you what real love looks like. I use it as a blueprint of how I love
the good,
others.
the bad, and the ugly.
That's what it's supposed to be for. It's not for you. It's for everybody else. You learning how to forgive your spouse is so you can learn and other people can see what it looks like.
And the trend goes from generation to generation to generation. But somehow the generation has been broken. And then a lot of these sins that the enemy has came out from everything and all these preachers and everything that comes around, the reason why it's been broken is because that's what the enemy has always been trying to do.
Okay, well, Christy just asked me a question, and I'm about to give her an answer that's probably going to shock people. She said, was being physical difficult after all the cheating and hurt? How did you get back the connection? We never lost it.
Nope. Matter of fact,
It's broken.
she was giving me more.
See that. So listen, if I recognize that my
I
husband,
have to turn her down.
If I have to recognize that if my husband decided to go to another woman because I wasn't doing what I needed to do as a wife, why would I continue to be in that same behavior? And me and Willie's connection is never broken. It's
And
never,
it's not, and it's not,
never
it's
lost.
not like
it's
I'm
just
not,
broken.
it's not like I'm not attracted to her or she's not
Right.
attracted to me.
It's life.
It's
We
life.
let life get us down and other things get away. But the responsibility that we have in our marriage comes over everything, even our children. I know a lot of people are going to be upset when I say that, but I'm sorry.
There's no woman that ever gave me a connection that this woman gives to me.
So, does that mean that he doesn't love me? No. Does that mean that he just doesn't feel a certain way about me? No. And no, the connection did not change. It actually made us more physical. I'm more physical with my husband now because of all the crap we went through. Because I'll be damned if another woman gonna do and take what belongs to me.
And I will accept it all. Yes.
And he was gonna accept it all.
Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. Yes.
No, okay. So yeah. So I hope that answered your question because really for me, like me and Willie have like I can't explain what we have. Like I cannot explain it. It's no words in all the books in all the languages that can explain. Balance life and put one another first. Take time out. Like at the end of the day, like we know what we need from each other to connect. Like it's not just physical, it's emotional. He knows that emotional stimulates physical for me. He knows that. So he knows that telling me, you know, waking up in the morning, good morning, beautiful, blah, blah, blah. I just was thinking about you. Or like Friday, perfect example. I was at work, working from home, and he was like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing. He's like, let's go to lunch. My husband don't ever come to work like from home. So I'm like, oh, you like really coming to take me to lunch? Like, and guess what? All the things and the things. That's all I gotta say. So
Blasted.
but it's those type of things that we know, like, we don't never want to go back to a place like that. Like, I tell him all the time.
Or like whenever I'm going to fix ice cream machines, because I
Right.
do them on the side, right?
Correct.
And we drive past Tacoma, which is like about 2 hours
2
away.
hours.
And she always want to make an adventure out of it. Usually, I like to roll. I like to ride alone. It's
Right.
my way to get away from the family, the kids, her, and everybody. Now, I enjoy her company because I know she just loves spending time with me
Yes.
as much as I do too. So to see what's going on with her, and we make time. And we found a new restaurant that we love, Ocean Prime. Ocean Prime, off the chain, baby.
Yes.
Anyway, and it becomes an adventure, and it makes me see the times that we had when we first got together.
Right.
That's what we lost because family, the chaos, the things that was happening in our
Right.
life was taking all of that away. It was eating at that. It was eating at that
Literally.
love, and
Eating
and
alive.
we look back right now, we can see it. We didn't have that quality time like we had when we first started being together, and that's where a lot of couples go wrong also.
So when he goes to fix the ice cream machine, you guys, I don't really know what I'm doing, but now it's like a routine to
She
where that
thinks
when he
she an expert,
goes,
but she's
like
not.
I be pulling out the screwdriver, like I'm helping him take off the parts in the machine, like it's a real thing. But here's the thing: is that it allows me to see all the things that he goes through with being a man and all the different avenues that he uses to try to make us. And it requires me to say, Tanisha, you know what? This man is out here slaving. You make bad choices financially. Are you going to continue to do that knowing that he's literally pouring his blood, sweat, tears, body, doing 10,000 jobs to try to make things happen? And are you going to continue to stay in your ways and be the same person? If I wouldn't be there with him seeing that type of thing, then it wouldn't force me to look at the bad parts of myself that I need to change to be better.
Yeah, and so the balance is seeing what each other wants and desires and knowing those desires and learning more about each other, because the Tanisha that I knew 23 up to now is changed. She's not the same individual. Her mind has evolved. Her desires have evolved. Her mind frame has evolved. The more that she gets into the Creator God, the more her mind evolves, and I have to match that. And I think that balance is matching
Right.
who she is, both mentally, spiritually, and physically. We have to stay in sync, because if we don't, we'll be right back where we started.
were. And that's the thing, is that both of you guys have to make a choice to say it's not about me as the individual, it's about us. It's
Yep.
about the things that we need to give to each other
Yes.
over what we need to give to
And that's
ourselves.
where that's another thing where people go wrong because they think this becoming one in this partnership or whatever it may be, that you guys are going to think alike,
No.
be alike, come up with the same conclusions, like the same things. No, that's not what that means. What that means is that becoming one is working at that same goal. We
Right.
take a building, for instance. You're going to have a carpenter. You're going to have
Yep.
an electrician. You're going to have a steel erector, a welder. You're going to have a HVAC tech. If you
Right.
take all of these techs and you put them together, then they create what you call a house or a building. It's, the electrician can't do what the carpenter does, so they all work together, and that's where it is because they're all building
Thank you,
one.
April. I appreciate it.
They're building one thing. They're building, all these people are coming together to build this one thing, this one building, and that's what creates that house.
You know, and I can only speak to this women because I don't know why I feel like I want to say this right now. Sometimes when things happen in our marriage, we go inside of ourselves and we stay there alone. I don't know why I'm saying that, but that's unhealthy.
It is unhealthy. That's what I tell all kinds of guys. That's what I told my guys that we filming with. You know, man, y'all can talk to me. I pump them up. I tell them, man, if you guys are, iron sharpens iron for men, right? If you guys are going through some stuff, man,
Right.
let's talk about it, man. Like, I'm gonna tell you straight up what's going on, like the do's and the don'ts. I told the other guy the other day, run for the hills, because guess what? That's not for you. That's not what you're looking for. Why did I tell him that? Because why? He gave me this feeling like, hey, you know what? I'm feeling this certain way. This person is not doing a certain thing in my life, and da 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 da. Then I'm asking him, so this person out of 10 things, how many things is this person doing for you? 0. It's time to go.
You have to have something to hold.
Hold on
There has
to.
to be a certain glue, right? It's like I call it the spiritual glue, right? It's the glue that holds together when the physical and the mental don't match. But once again, you have to be with a partner that thinks that way, right?
And-
Because when I first met Willie, I wasn't who I am in God. So he had all these biblical principles. So when I wasn't doing the things that were in those principles, of course, he's looking at me like, what the heck, right? But as I began to grow and mature with him spiritually, I'm still not as spiritually mature as he is, but I'm getting there. But it's allowing me to understand my responsibilities as a wife. It allows me to understand that there's certain things that I need to do that I have to pay attention to in order for this man to be the man that I need him
And
to
mind
be.
you, the devil's in my ear telling me,
Right.
you're unequally yoked,
Yep.
you're unequally yoked, you're unequally yoked,
Yep.
you're unequally
Yep.
yoked. Man, you should have left a long time
Right.
ago. Man, you need to leave. Man, this is not healthy. This is a toxic. You need
Right.
to do all of this and then some, man. And I did listen to him, and like that was part of my cheating too, because I listened to
He
the enemy.
listened to the enemy.
And then when I was excuse my expression, when I was all up in these girls, man, I'm telling you straight up, none of them could compare to my wife, for real. So, and when I say that, I'm talking about the connection, the end result.
Right.
I wanted to get rid of them. I didn't want to hug them. I didn't want to talk with them. I didn't want to spend time with them. I didn't want to love them. I didn't want to be the
And
husband.
I think that's what the
I
thing
didn't want
about
to do none of
men
that.
don't understand. Man don't understand is that
And they drained me. They didn't. They
Right.
never contributed. They took away from me.
when you go into these affairs, these people are only seeking to get what
It
they
draws
can
your
take,
energy.
not what they're gonna give.
No.
Because they ain't about giving. Giving comes from this type of relationship, not no relationship where you're both here to get what you need from that person and then bounce.
Taking her to Little Caesar's Pizza to get that crispy pizza, even though it was wrong, that gave me strength. I was ready to go help her get that pizza because
I didn't think he was gonna say it because I just woke up and I said, "Oh my God, I need some pizza." You think you're gonna take me?
and
He
she
was
was
like,
rushing me too. I was like,
absolutely.
man. And then she
I was
said,
like,
I could just take myself. And I said, oh no,
Absolutely.
you not. This is my chance to go do something for you. No, you're not gonna take this away from me. Let's go, Carl. I stopped everything I'm doing and I left. Why? Because it's a giving thing. Because it's a give and take.
Why, Willie? Did you say something about having a group for men? Let me tell y'all something.
Nope.
I've tried to. Willie's not gonna do it. Okay, listen. This is.
I'm not into the church
He's
thing.
not. This ain't church thing. Okay, just in general. Okay, we've talked about for a very long time doing marriage couples counseling. Not counseling. Should I just say meet up like this, but in face to face? Because we know social media always has that disconnect, right? People are only gonna pay attention for so long. We here in Vancouver, we've been here since 2015. I've tried to have Bible studies to my house. I've tried to have women meetings to my house. I've tried all the things to get people out of themselves to actually do this, and it ain't popping. I don't know what it is, but Willie is, he's saying that, but if I organize it, he gonna show up because that's who he is. But I would love to have a men's thing.
I'm gonna show up for her, but
he don't want to.
it's
but
not
he gonna
that
do
it's
it.
not I'm not led to. I can't do anything that I'm not led
But
to do.
I've tried.
It won't be prosperous.
So if you know something that we're not doing, I've tried to. I've invited people to my home. I'm a cook for you. I'm gonna do all these things to get you in my house.
For her, it's about that. For me, it's not about that. It's like you have to try the spirit by the spirit. You know, if that person needs help or wants help, and when
and most people don't want help.
And I really want you to understand this. This is another one of my real talk. All right, it's no disrespect to anybody. When you're around a whole bunch of people and you're trying to help them. And then if someone is there that really does not want that help and they're just there, or maybe they think that they're there, I don't know, for whatever reason, that spiritual draw, it drains you. And then if you into a place to where when it begins to drain you and it happens over and over and over again, now the enemy can now come in because your house is weakened. You don't know where it's at, and now you being attacked.
I don't even understand spiritual attacks. That's a whole nother subject.
You have to watch out who you counseling, where you at, what you doing, and how you doing. And it has to be led by the Creator God. It cannot be led by flesh. It cannot be led by the you trying to do the right thing, because always doing the right thing can get you in trouble also if it's not ordained. So that's my point is that that is the reason why I don't do it. I used to be an elder. I used to be a bishop inside of the church. I was going to even have my own church, but I refused to go that route because why? Most churches are just stealing people's money.
Well, we ain't going to say that because we don't know what certain churches doing, Willie, please. Like, their direction
hold
of
on,
church is
there's
not
a lot
our
of
direction.
churches stealing
That's
people's
all I'm
money.
say. Willie, don't do it.
Some of them are good churches.
I got to respect the people on here that are in the sanctity of a church. Okay?
Again, I'm going to say this. Some churches, not all churches, are cheating people. They got good church because that's the way you have to go. God has to send you to hear the word, to be a doer of the word. I get that. I understand that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is my life and how I was raised from an atheist to a believer, right? God has blessed me to understand these things, so I don't do everything like in a church setting or whatsoever. So to answer your question in simple form, I try not to do it that route because the spirit is depleted. Kind of like Christ, for instance. We use this for example. When Christ was walking, if you understand that biblical passage, and then the woman with the issue of blood grabbed his garment and he said, "Who touched me?" He felt a virtue, a power come out of him. See, understand that every time something like that happens, when you're giving someone enlightenment like we're doing right now, we're giving this out and it drains us to a certain point.
Right.
Because as I do this even now, I get tired. Right. Because why? Because the spirit is willing and the flesh is weak.
Yes, that's it. So it's all connected. And hold on. She said, I would seriously love that. It doesn't have to be Bible study, but more like a men's and women's group for those who have been. Listen. So this is what I'm planning. I don't know how this is going to look, but I'm trying to make it happen. It's going to happen. I want to have a round table that I'm calling the upper room. Don't judge the name. But I want it to be with couples who have been married 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Because I feel like there's a lost generation of people who are about to pass away with so much knowledge that we need as the younger generation to sustain and survive. I don't know when this is going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's called the upper room. God gave me the vision, and it is so. So if anybody here got support for that to happen, please let me know because I got to get it done like ASAP. But in retrospect to what you're talking about, Christy, is that I would love to do that. Like, have it at my house. I don't care. Men and women who are just in relationships come. We all chat, ask questions, all of that. That is ministry to me. That's church to me. This is church. It doesn't have to be in the four walls where I'm begging everybody for money. It's in your sanctity.
We don't want your money, trust me.
We in the sanctity of being around like-minded people, talking things out and letting absolute truth flow. That's what church is to me. So, the end.
Healing.
So, Willie, we've been on here almost 2 hours. We got to go.
Yeah, you can't go. If people got more questions, I'm answering them.
Listen, stop asking people. You know we're going to be here for 4 hours.
We ain't got nothing to do, man. We just got to get up.
Nothing to do?
We don't have nothing to do.
I have stuff to do.
What you got to go do?
I have to go finish things for my Canva class. I have to go do some stuff for my first event on Friday. I got some planning I need to do.
All right, we're going to ask 4 more questions.
4 more questions? What the?
If you keep them
Listen.
simple,
I'm not playing with you, Willie. We've been up here for almost 2 hours.
All right. Anybody got any more questions?
Okay.
Going once.
Okay.
We're
Really
gonna keep it
people
going.
can't top that fast. So listen, if you guys have questions, you can always chime in and ask us online. Our inboxes are open. But here's the thing is that we need more people who are not scared to say truth. That's the truth. Is that me and Willie sitting here talking, what I need from someone may be from the person who's scared to open up their mouth. Like, for real. Like, you got to understand that that's
my
how.
glasses on. You gotta do
Okay,
that.
hold on 1 second. Willie, I feel some of these churches are not real, and I've dealt with some messed up stuff from a member of a church. I can't see the rest of it, but I'm sorry, Christy, that's the case. Hold on. Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay. She said that messed up stuff from a member of a church, and I don't think this is how you're supposed to treat a congregation. It should show up where I'm supposed to be. Yeah. So that's the whole thing, guys. Like, we've done church. We don't do church like everybody else does church. We don't knock people. If that's how you do church, you go like certain rules you have to follow.
Everybody got to go to school.
Religion.
You got to start from somewhere.
Right. So everybody got to start somewhere. But of course, as you grow, things change.
You have to read your Bible.
You got to read your Bible. If you don't do that,
forever.
If you don't read your Bible, then anybody could come and deceive you.
That is correct.
You can't even believe anything that we say. If it's not biblical based, then you should be judging.
That's why we don't give scriptures.
That's why I'm going to try, depending on what it is. It depends on the situation. But
if I quote something, I'm going to give you a scripture and tell you where it's at or whatsoever.
Exactly.
But my point is that it's not like that. And I want to make sure we make this clear. It's not like that in all churches. All right.
Thank you, sis, Melanie.
It is not always like that in all churches, but mass majority of them is really the truth because I've been behind the scenes.
We don't do religion. That's what it is.
We don't do religion.
We don't do religion. We don't do the all that. If you want to do that, that's great, and we support you in that. But our version of church is this. It is being around people who just want to talk and understand and be in a unison and healing and opening up our mouth to be able to speak that absolute truth so change can happen. Then using your own life as a testimony to be able to help others.
That's what it is, a testimony.
That's it. I'm only here because I know I have to say what I have to say because God called me to say it because I know that's my purpose.
Because there's other women out there that's going through what she's going through that's not even talking about it.
It's a disservice to you. Listen, because I got to get close. Hold on.
I thought you wanted to go.
It's a disservice.
Excuse me.
You don't tell.
Excuse me.
I'm going to say that.
But you can't talk off the mic because you're on the mic.
But they're going to hear me here on Facebook anyway from my phone. It's a disservice if you are not opening up your mouth to tell someone what you've been through to heal and help others. Because Tanisha ain't going to always be able to say something to heal Christy. Christy probably, if Christy opened up her mouth, I'm just using as an example, Christy, don't get upset. If you open up your mouth to say what it is, there's only something that you can say for somebody to change. It has to come from you. Because people look at me and see the shiny everything and be like, oh, and not believe me. They need to believe certain levels of women. There's different levels of women that heal and help levels of other women. My level may not help their level. It's other women that have to be strong and not scared or embarrassed enough to say their truth so people can change. But it has to be enough of us to rise up to be able to do that.
Yeah, and a lot of these women group are basically just creating and gathering money so they can sell you something or you can sell something or you could do something.
I would love to do that. I would love to be able to, but guess what? That's not it. I don't need people here.
You would love to sell people stuff?
No, I'm saying
Yeah,
I would love to sell my book, but we know that's not what happened.
That's not what we're talking about.
But I'm just saying that I'm not here trying to take money from people. My life coaching is separate, yes, and that's a paid service. But what I'm saying is that me getting up here, I don't want people to let me drop my cash app for you to bless us. No, if you want to do that, then guess what? There's nothing I need to say because the person who God put it on their heart to bless us financially is going to come. I don't have to drop a cash app.
Somebody ask another question on that.
Let's see. I can speak my truth, but still it's good to learn from a woman and man in a long-term church. Yeah, I agree. Like I said, whatever floats your boat, that's how you is. If you want to go sit in church on Sundays and Wednesdays, I don't knock anybody's journey. That's just not me and Willie's journey. Like, we've done that. That's not where we are now. But we don't judge people for doing that. If that's what God leads you to do, then go do it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Because you have to, like I say, everybody, you have to start from somewhere. If you have to hear the word, you have to understand the word. So you have to start from somewhere.
The word is the key.
That is it.
The word.
The word.
All of what we say and where we are now in our relationship comes from our unity in the word.
Our word, the Bible is our basis of our
It
relationship.
is our anchor.
It is our anchor.
Foundation. If you
Yes.
don't have an anchor or foundation, guess what's going to happen? You're going to sing.
Even when I cheated, it says, thou should not commit adultery. See?
Right?
Other than that, I would
How
think
would
I
he
was
be
right.
convicted if he didn't know that? How would he think that that's okay if something inside of him would be like, okay, this word is a way of life, so this is my foundation. I got to stop doing this because at the end of the day, this is what I believe, and this is my foundation. What is your foundation in?
Judge not, lest ye be judged.
Correct.
Forgive your brother or sister 7 times 70.
Correct. Here's one cheek, slap the right, slap the left.
Keep going on and on and on. So these
Right.
are biblical principles that we live by because we choose to live by them.
Right.
Everybody don't have to have those basics, but you, in a relationship, you have to have some form of anchor.
There
the
is
do's
none.
and don'ts.
Right. You'll be lost without one.
Yeah.
So if you can't ever find no common ground in your relationship
Something's wrong.
that comes and combat y'all when y'all both in y'all flesh and sin, that's why people can't solve anything. That's why people don't stay together. That's why people don't truly get married, because a lot of people are scared of marriage because they know that, okay, it requires a different level of me to hold myself accountable, but also forgive. And maybe I'm not that ready for that
Yep.
place in my life. But
Any other
so be
questions
it.
on there?
Nope, I think that's it. She said one last question. That's Christy asking all them questions. Christy, I love you, but I'm gonna let you ask one last question, but go ahead.
You said 4. Go ahead, Chris.
You said 4.
I can answer them all night. I don't really care.
I love that you're being so
Go ahead.
engaged, because he's really not an engaging person like this. So I'm very proud of you. I'm gonna let you ask one last question, but go ahead.
Really?
He's
Does
not a person that really
Did
wants
this get
to.
perks?
Yeah, all the perks you want.
Well, okay.
The thing is, you are told by some older people that you need to suck it up, that this has been going on for many years. Hold on. Give me a second. Hold on.
That is the truth. That's why we're trying to circumvent that right now.
Okay. So basically saying not to have feelings about infidelity and that she can't speak about it. I don't agree with that, Christelle. You can't speak about infidelity. Now, the older generation, they saw things within themselves and they didn't talk about it. And but the world that we live in now, unfortunately, you have to talk about it, because if you don't, it's not a reality for people, right? People talk about the clothes, the shoes, the cars, the letting it out, YOLO, all the things. So what else could you use to combat the world and the way it's going, but using the things that we go through and speak about it so it can change?
True.
Like, I don't understand that. So for me, Christelle, I don't agree with that. And there, like I said, I'm sure that my aunties and my mother and all the women in my life probably are angry by this. But first of all, I don't care. Second of all,
They told you to stop putting your business
they told
out.
me to stop putting my business out there. But here's the thing is that
But it's our
if
business.
one person is changed by me opening my mouth, then God's work is done. And I'm here for God's work, not the world's. And that's what you got to understand, is that you speaking your truth, if it helps somebody, isn't that the goal at the end of the day? Like, aren't we put on this world to help others besides helping ourselves?
Okay, but what's the original question,
That is
sweetheart?
the question. So the question is, I got lost. It's up 3. My point, and I have got it, is a big argument about it. Yeah, they're going to do that. But you are helping others. Yeah, I mean, that's all that matters. She said she lost her question. It's up there. Hold on. Let me see. She said, how are the children affected by everything? I
Our
honestly
families-
think they're still affected by it. So you have to understand
Affected by what?
the infidelity.
I don't think so.
Yes, they are. And here's the thing that I'm going to tell you, because remember,
Our families.
there's a little girl in me. There's the woman in me, which is the queen. And I learned this from my first lady, used to be first lady. Queen in me.
Dr. Virginia Prelo.
Queen in me, girl in me, B word in me. That's the 3 women that live in me, okay? Girl, little girl is unhealed. If she's unhealed, she's living in your present life as the queen. That's the conflict. That's the over-emotional side of you. That's the things that can't make you process things. You don't understand why things are happening. It's the D word, the A word, depression and anxiety. That's from the little girl in you that's not healed. There's the queen in you, the woman that you see today, the one that's powerful, the one that voices her truths, the one that doesn't live in the things about her that she needs to change. She tries to help others. It's the woman that's powerful that feels like she could do anything. For me, I got that from Christ. Then there's the B in us. That's when they both collide, right? You're trying to deal with the woman and the little girl in you. So that's where the B word comes in. I'm saying that. You don't have to use it, but that's what I'm saying. It's the one that's yeah, yeah, yeah. Everything is always an argument, all that. That is also where a lot of women live as well. But it's because the queen and the child are fighting against each other. So for me, looking at that from my children, Christy, to answer your question, my children had to deal with their mother and father breaking up. My stepkids. That that broke them. Okay. They don't talk about it. It's not talked about. I wish it was. We tiptoe around it, but it's never happened.
Nah, I talk about it.
I mean, not in the reality of everybody talking about it. That has not happened.
It ain't gonna
would
never
hope
happen.
is because they don't want it. They're scared of it. And
I don't
get
even want it.
Okay. He don't even want it, right? But that's what it is, okay? They have never had that healing from that. Okay. It still lives in them as women and men. When this happened with me, right? I'm now stepmom. I'm another mom. I've been around for 20 years. So not only when that happened, they had to relive mine, but they had to relive their own. So it's them seeing it play out all over again. So now the hurt has stacked on it. Has it affected them? Absolutely. In their relationships with men and their identity as a woman or a man. And I know this is why I do it too, because one day I want my children to see that everything that we went through is going to be a foundation for them. Well, wow, my mom, my stepmom, and my dad, or my mom and my dad stayed together for 20 years. Like they did. They went through their stuff. They did it. I saw Miss Tanisha. That's what they call me. They don't call me stepmom. They don't call me mom. I see her go through so much with my dad, and it never broke her. It never took her to a different place. It always allowed her to be strong and healing.
Yeah, and also let me input in that. That right there is the dangerous part right there, because they seen all of that and noticed all of that. You have to correct that, and that's where we step in, because that's where you have to say truths.
Right.
Like, me being a father, knowing that maybe one of my children's boyfriends or husband or whoever
Right.
it may be may have stepped out. I have to give them the mind frame I was in or what was
Right.
happening with me, so they can make just decisions. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Because it could be dangerous, because they can be forever in that loop and in that cycle of
Right.
accepting less than.
Correct.
So they're not able to make those right choices if I don't give them those truths. And that's when those truths have to come out.
Right. And Christy, we didn't argue about the cheating. Like, we never had blows and blows about it in front of the kids. The only reason they found out is, like I said, the last time the girl went on Facebook. But before that, our kids didn't even know we had that. Until we spoke it for the first time, that's the first time they knew about it. All this time, they never even knew that we went through infidelity in our marriage. It was probably a shock to them when they heard it a couple years ago. But with that last time, we didn't spaz out in front of our kids about it. Like, that wasn't how it happened. She posted whatever, and then we had to all sit down and they heard it. I individually talked to each one of them because I'm that person. I'm going to individually, so they don't have other people blocking their voice, which I feel is important in parenting. You can't have 1,000 conversations with all the children. You have to reach them individually so they can have their own voice and feel okay with speaking it. So I talked to each one of them individually. I don't think that they were destroyed from it. I just think that they were shocked.
Disappointed,
right? Especially when they heard it about me.
Till this very
To
day,
this very day.
I can't even turn my head. If a woman happened to be walking,
Yes, our
and I'm not even
kids,
looking at the woman, because I don't
they would be like,
never ever
"Daddy."
look at a woman like
Yeah.
that. So let's get that straight. I don't just go, "Woo, dang!" I'll never disrespect my wife like that, or my kids, or whatever. But if my kids, they're always on me. Dad, what you doing? Like, Dad, no, well, Dad, they're always on me. So it's like, it's a family thing, and it affects them in a negative way, but also in a positive way, also, because it's
Right.
both good and bad to all things.
So for example, if I'm with Jaden, our second to last son, and we're somewhere and a guy tries to he'll come like, Dad, guess what? This man was trying to holler at my mama. He will come and he's very protective over me.
C-block.
He is eyes and ears for Dad.
He's C-block.
Dad, he tries to push up on mom, but she married. He's jumping in to make sure. But I don't think it affected them to where that they can't sustain their relationship, but I think it does make them question their future.
It makes them not want relationship.
Probably
It makes
not.
them mistrust men even
Yes.
more. It makes them. It affects
If
their
their own father
relationships.
and
I see
mother
that.
can have infidelity, and but that's the wrong way to
They
look
try
at
to
it.
be smarter than the guys.
Right.
Like my dad did this, so the guys ain't got a chance. Like
Right.
for real, I
For
feel
real.
sorry for any dude that dates any one of my kids.
Yeah.
Avery, if you out there listening, man, I feel sorry for you, dude.
Okay, she said, do you think it's a waste to go through counseling or just you and your spouse work it out alone?
My advice is that you should get a counselor.
Yes.
But the counselor should be biblically based.
Yes. If you believe in Christ and God, and that's another thing. A lot of people have asked me, why don't I just go get a degree and do this like psychology?
But the counselors,
It's not personal. Why would I ever come?
we
and
tried the psychology.
I have been to
therapists.
1,000 people, and for me, there's still a disconnect. I
is.
can't go share something from someone who I don't know has a vested interest in my personal growth. You don't know me. So yes, you could give me an outside perspective, but you don't believe in the things that I believe in. You don't walk the same walk that I walk. I just can't do it.
My therapist told me, why am I still here?
Yeah. All of the people we saw said divorce.
Because in their mind, they couldn't tolerate anything like this,
Correct.
understood what true
That's just
forgiveness
it.
is.
People will only speak as far as their understanding goes. So if you sit in front of someone who believes that if something happens that's different than your belief, you're going to throw the marriage away. So that was a waste of time. You have to be with like-minded people. When they say be equally yoked in marriage, you also need to be equally yoked in friendships. You need to be equally yoked
definitely.
in your children and parenting. You need to be equally yoked in other parts
that's
of
in
your
all
life.
things. I don't care which way you do. I don't care.
Right.
That's not even a Christian thing or even a biblical thing or a God thing. Like, you have to
I
be
need to-
equally yoked in everything.
Tell the dog is hollering.
Anyway, anything else?
Their dog is hollering. It's dinner time, and the kids are not taking him out, and he hears his mama's voice below him, and he is not a happy camper that I'm not down there playing with him. But anyway, so I said all that to say that to take the journey that you are in your life as a woman or a man, it takes a lot of conversations. It takes a lot of opening up. It takes a deep dive into who you are. So for me, I'm glad that I have people that I can call that are biblically based that can truly help me, right? Because it's hard for somebody just to say I need help. Why is that so hard? Just to say I need help. Listen, I call on help all the time. I need help every day of my life. I need help from my husband. I need help from my family. I need help from my friends. I need help from people who, support me my growth spiritually as a life coach, as a mentor, as a businesswoman. I'm going to get all the stuff, all the people that I know that love me and support me and want to help me grow. I get support, but I don't have people in my corner that's just telling me what I want to hear neither. I have people that truly challenge and take the things in my life and put me under conviction. That is what you're supposed to have, and most people don't have that. So, what did she say? No, thank you guys so much. So vulnerable. We need this. Absolutely. Please share. Drop somebody to our Experience Exchange, our YouTube channel. We're streaming on YouTube Live.
Podcast.
Podcast.
If you want to hear it on the road.
If you have topics that you want us to talk about, please drop those too, because we tired of coming up with topics ourselves. So if you
I'm
wanna
not
help-
tired. I got a whole bunch of them. Some more passionate than others. I just don't say them because my wife tell me, Willie, we can't talk about that.
No, that's not what I said. But anyway,
Well, what did you say, dog? What did you say, huh?
I just said that like certain things I feel like we could talk about, but they ain't ready or it's not right now.
All right.
But you led this one. It was a good one. I'm glad. Those who needed to be helped were helped. And if they were blessed, great. If they wasn't, it doesn't matter. We're doing the Lord's work. So thank you guys so much anyway. I really appreciate it. I cannot believe we were streaming for 2 hours. But guess what? It is what it is. Pray for us as we will pray for you guys. I like to take prayer requests because y'all know I'm a praying woman, and I will break down and pray in the McDonald's. Like, I will pray my butt anywhere. So if you got some prayers, please send them over to me. Drop them in our DMs. We love you guys. We really appreciate the support. take a share. We don't have a set time. Really, we need to start coming up with a set time so people could actually tune in. But it'd be random. Like, it'd be like, oh, we're recording today. I'm like, okay.
I like to be led by the Spirit.
So let them be led. Just come and watch every time we do it. So thank you guys so much. Have a good day on purpose. Peace.